Hi, folks. Andrew here. Popcorn and whiskey. I am the face who runs the place. That's right. Thanks for being here. Saturday evening. Thanks for spending time with me. Cheers. Salute there. Here we are, popcorn and whiskey, breaking all the rules of live streaming. I drink on the air. I eat my popcorn on the air. No, I won't finish this whole thing, but I will be chewing it throughout the night. Why? Because the show is called Popcorn and Whiskey. That's why. And just like all the other shows, I've come prepared with bullet points. Not official notes, but bullet points. So tonight, some of the topics we'll be covering, top 10 lists. And for that, we will have guests on here as well. One, possibly two guests tonight. We will talk about love and hate, which I'll get into probably my first topic. And then probably podcasting on a budget. That is, I don't want to say it's a passion of mine, but it's something I'm extremely interested in, and I stumbled upon it throughout the course of my podcasting career, in my live streaming career. When I say podcasting, to me, podcasting, live streaming, it's one and the same. Okay, and then there's ways to do it with the camera, ways to do it without the camera. They are very similar, but there's also some huge differences, which I don't know if we'll get into that or not. But that's just the way it goes. You know, I guess I should see if this is even broadcast or not, because that's one of the things that I haven't quite figured out because of the way Facebook does their things and the way YouTube does their thing. So let me first check YouTube. Okay, YouTube is working just peachy. And Facebook seems to be doing it okay. Okay, so man, we are rocking and rolling. I'm not worried about Twitch at all. Twitch is the big kahuna in the live streaming space right now. Maybe it doesn't have the reach as a lot of other places do, but it has the technology beyond the other places, in my opinion, right now. Okay, so as I'm doing this, the platform that I use to distribute the live streams, if you will, is called StreamYard. Okay, and a lot of times StreamYard's at the top of the video you're looking at, puts their own tagline in there, which I don't really care for, but that's where they promote themselves. So I replace it as if I can, going through that way. But that's neither here nor there. That's for other people who want to do it. If you're interested in StreamYard, let me know. I can get you discounts through my code and things of that sort. Okay? So all that being said, oh, wow, look at that. They got some wrestling on tonight. No, we won't be talking about wrestling. Sorry. Like I said, love, hate. Let's talk about love and hate. It's a good segue because one of the taglines for a past wrestling thing was root for the guys you love to hate. You know, one of those kind of things. Okay. So, first of all, I want to give Facebook, the platform, a big thumbs up because they have something called a snooze button. You can snooze somebody or some sort of post or something for 30 days. I use it for individuals. I have individuals out there who like to post a lot of political hate. People will say, well, Andrew, you used to post political stuff. Yeah, I probably did, but mine wasn't hateful. Okay, mine was more on the positive side of things. I was, and still am, pro MAGA, 100% MAGA, just to let you know. I've actually had people who unfriended me, I should say, and people who literally called me names after we were friends for a long time. Once they found out that my political beliefs were different than them, all of a sudden I turned into a racist, woman hater, a bigot, a homophobe, blah, blah, blah. After these folks knew me for a while, all of a sudden, guess what? Because I didn't believe with them politically, all of a sudden I'm this bad guy. So why wasn't I a bad guy the last 3 or 4 years that we knew each other and so on and so forth? But hey, that's just the way it goes. So what this love hate thing is, some of my quote unquote friends post negative, hateful things all the time. So what I started doing is snoozing them for 30 days. The button on Facebook, snooze for 30 days. Hopefully, after 30 days, they'll get tired of doing it. They'll find maybe the hatred will go away from their heart. After 30 days, they come back. Lo and behold, boom, the first post I see from them is something hate-filled. Again, usually politically based. Usually. Boom, I snooze them for 30 days again. It's just that simple. How can somebody go around all day long with that kind of attitude, with that kind of motivation? That how is their heart so filled with hate? That's all they can figure to do is throw it out there. And if you don't agree with their hate, or if you don't hate the same stuff that they hate you. And I'm trying to get away from that. There is certain things that I dislike, of course. There are a lot of things that I like. So I try to promote more of the things I like. If you've been following my page, I'm doing something called Andrew and Clinton. I live in the town of Clinton, Indiana, and I take a video twice a week, usually, of different places in town as I'm driving through there. It's more of a point of view for those in a business. It's called POV, point of view video where the camera is basically pointed out the front windshield of my car, and I narrate as I go through. And just driving to different places, usually 4 or 5 minute long video. These last couple of weeks has been cool because I've been able to go onto a local golf course. The owners of the golf course says, yeah, go ahead, take a card out, go for it. And the first one, I've done it twice, the front nine and the back nine. And for those who are not familiar with golfing, the most golf course, I don't want to say most golf courses are either 9 holes or they're 18 holes. Very rarely are you going to find something different. Are there out there? I am sure there are. But golfing is usually 9 holes or 18 holes. If the golf course is an 18-hole course, the first one, the holes 1 through 9, they call it the front 9. And the holes 10 through 18, they call it the back 9. Okay? This particular golf course I'm in, I'm not a big golfer. I do not know a lot of the terminology, don't not know all the golf etiquette, so to speak. So I don't try to say I do know it because I don't. When the family who let me go on the golf course that owns it, they say, yeah, take the golf cart and go. They let me do it as long as I stayed on the golf cart path. Now, could I venture off of it? I'm sure I could have. I didn't want to abuse that privilege, so I didn't. And plus, I didn't need to. I wasn't golfing. I was just going through the holes. So I put my camera on the mount up on the front windshield of the golf cart, but it couldn't stay. So it kept falling off. So I had to basically start the video over, but I had to hand hold it the whole time. And man, oh man, does your arm get heavy as you're doing this? You have to switch arms, and and you're still driving the golf cart, unfamiliar territory, trying to avoid the bumps so it's not shaking all the time, and trying to talk. And then the other problem I had is wind was coming on big time into the camera. So I had to talk louder so people can hear me. The video turned out better than I thought it would, so I was happy about that. The second week, I went on. I did that for the front 9. The back 9 holes 10 through 18. I got a selfie stick. I tried a selfie stick, and I put my camera on the selfie stick, and I basically handheld it here, so it was just eye level, but on the side of me. It was a lot easier than trying to hold it with my hand, so this way. And so, in case there was a bump or something, I can kind of use my arm as a little shock absorber if you can. So the back 9 took longer to go through than the front 9. but I thought the videos came out pretty good. So those who watch the videos, thank you so much. Those who didn't, go over to my page and look at the videos. It's just that simple. So, and the cool thing about this is I'm going through this, and this is the love I have for the little town I live in. I want to see it better itself. There's a lot of places I go to, unfortunately, that people don't take pride in their yards, and you can see it on camera. Do I point them out? No. I do not point out anybody's, I do not point out anybody's yard as an individual basis. I'll go by different subdivisions, different areas, different streets. And now I'm getting requests. People are requesting me go down this street. Hey, go down this street. Go down this street. Do this, do that. So I got a lot of things coming up. I also found out that there's a couple of people out there who are trying to duplicate it. Okay, great. Go for it. Okay. So that being said, you know what we're going to do right now? I want to do something out of the ordinary right now. And here's what I'm going to do. And as I'm going through this, okay, do that. Yeah, you're going to see a little bit different. Hold on a second. So come up here, voice calls, do that, do this, do this, do that. Okay. So now I have it set up so I can take phone calls. Now, I will be having a guest on here in a little bit. When I have a guest, unfortunately, I cannot take phone calls during the guest. So here you go. If you want to call the show, talk to me about a few things. 765-505-7348 is the number to call for the show. And once you call in, have something to say. Don't just call in and say hi. If that's all you want to do, okay, I can work with it, but I'm going to start asking you questions, so be prepared. So I saw you this morning. Debbie, call me. If you're there, call me. I saw you this morning. I said I was gonna call you out. So there you go. If you're watching, give me a call. 765-505-7348. At least I hope I have that up. Yeah, we'll see if it goes on that route or not. And if you can, give it a call. And once my guest comes on here, we will eliminate the call button. I told him I was going to go solo for a little bit, but I want him to be on here when we do the top 10 lists. And might have more than one guest come on. We'll see how that works and everything else. So, all that being said, I am what I call triple casting tonight: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, which I said earlier. So if you're watching on any of those platforms, give me a follow, give me a like, give me a hey, how you doing type thing, and we can do that. Hi, Linda. Hey, Linda's watching. Appreciate it, Linda. Appreciate you being there. Linda's also one of the few that watch every one of my videos, and she comments on every one of my videos. I do appreciate that, Linda. You don't know how much that means to me personally, and also for the algorithms on Facebook. So that does wonders for me. But it's nice to know that people actually watch my videos when I put them up. The drive-by, and I call them drive-bys. Those who don't know, when I do my Andrew and Clinton videos, I call them drive-bys. The first one I did back in the winter, I called it road rage. And somebody got on my case and says, hey, how come there was no road rage? I'm like, well, I got to call it something else then. So I said, I'm going to call it drive-by. Hey, Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc Wrestling Unscripted is watching. And J-Mac, I will be sending you a link in a few minutes, dude. So hang on. If you're still wanting to come on, shoot me a message on Facebook. And I'll send you a link here in a little bit. You'll be my guest tonight. And I got a few things in store for us to chit chat about when you come on. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do right now? I will go ahead and send you that link. Invite guest. There you go. I am going to send you a link right now. Look at that. Okay, let's see here. Yes, sir. Here we go. There you go. All right. Because what I found out, I'm going to take this. Whoop. I'm going to take this off the screen now. Because when somebody calls in, they're unfortunately you can't. I can't take phone calls when he calls in, and the reason being is, what's this? Anytime, buddy. Anytime, J Mac. I got several questions for you. So whenever you want to come on, feel free to come on, and we'll go that route. And so be prepared, my friend. And I'll introduce him when he comes on and everything else. So I got some questions for him. This is going to be different. This is a brand new guest to the show once he comes on. And boy, there's so much I want to get into tonight. Like I said, I'm looking outside my window. I have a pond in my backyard. I want to talk about pond maintenance, but it's kind of a boring subject unless you have a pond, really, honestly. It is. So any of the folks watching out there, like Linda, if you're still watching, give me a topic. Give me something you want me to talk about, and I can do that. Also, for those watching, if you're needing a voiceover, I do voiceover stuff. If you need an MC for anything, let me know. If you want a host or a guest for your particular podcast, let me know. And at that point, we'll work it out, because I'm able to do any of those or all of those for you, and have no problem with it. And if you watch me, I have the gift of gab. It is, for me, it is easy to do a one-man show for a couple hours. I've done that several times, so I can do it. I'm looking here through. I like to see the other live streams as I'm going through here, just to see how they're doing. One of my nerd out moments by watching other live streams is to see what kind of microphones people have, because the business of live streaming, podcasting, and especially voiceover work is a lot to do with the microphone. Is my microphone the best? It's definitely not the most expensive. And we'll talk about podcasting and live streaming on a budget in just a little bit. No, but for the surroundings that I have, it is probably one of the best mics I'm going to be able to use here. And I'm not saying it in a negative way, because I absolutely love this microphone. And this is actually, okay, a little bit nerdy here. Okay. It's called the Behringer XM 8500. Okay. All right. So now, for the first time ever, drum roll, please. At least, well, maybe it's not the first time ever. I think you've been on here once before, J Mac. All right, let me put me on. Whoops. Okay, hold on a second. Let me do this. My buddy J Mac is on. Hello, J Mac. Thank you for being on Popcorn and Whiskey this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Let me change the background a little bit here. Get this going on there. Okay, Popcorn and Whiskey. Okay, J Mac and I have become internet buddies or live stream buddies. He's invited me on his show a couple of times. He has the podcast called Headlocks. Okay, wait a second. Don't tell me I get it. It's Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc Wrestling Unscripted. He is a huge professional wrestling fan, probably more so than me. And I told him when he comes on tonight, we cannot talk about professional wrestling because people leave when it's a non-wrestling show talking about professional wrestling. So we're not going to talk about wrestling. But I have to say the background of how you and I have become friends. So there you go. All right.
And the good thing about it is I'm multifaceted, so I don't just have to talk about wrestling.
Good. That's what I like. That's what I like. What do you got there? What bottle you got there? I see a bottle. What is that?
This is some local Kentucky wine. It's called Purple Toad, and I prefer the black and bruised, but I tell people all the time, this is like grape juice with a kick. It's awesome. So I'm having some wine with you tonight.
Okay. I don't know if you're seeing this or not, but your background is like really messing. You keep disappearing on us and everything else.
Oh,
I don't
do
know
I
if I
for
like
real?
that. I don't know if I like that or not. I mean, it looks cool for your shows and everything else, but when you're a guest on other people's shows, I don't know if that's something that you want to keep that. I'm not complaining. I mean, do what you want to do, but I'm just telling
Oh
you.
no, no, no. Here, let me. I'll take it off. Unfortunately, all I've got behind me is my green screen. But
That's fine.
yeah.
I mean, hey,
There
yeah,
you go.
okay, that's not a problem there.
Yeah.
You have see, I like this better. As me, this is a personal thing. I don't like the green screen type things behind you because it sometimes it makes you go away, and I don't like that.
Yes. I'm the same way. Like I'm trying. I think I found it like it's really a distance thing. Like it's more about the distance you have with your camera to the green screen, the
Okay,
less you fade in and out of the background and stuff and everything.
okay,
But
okay.
yeah, it gives me headaches sometimes myself. So
All right. So first question I got to ask you, dude, and this is not
alrighty.
going to be an interview thing. It's just going to be bouncing back and forth a little bit. Is your online handle is the legend JMac, but I know you when you send me messages as Brad or Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to disclose your last name unless you want to. It's totally up to you. Which one do you want to go by on shows like this, JMac or Brad or Bradley?
Anything. I was married for 22 years, so I've been called everything under the
I
sun. So
I understand that.
I answered all kinds of
That's
things.
that's
So
not the question though. But professionally speaking, which way would you like to be preferred? So if I didn't know you from Adam and you contacted me, who would you contact me as? Is the legend J Mac or the legend Brad or Bradley?
if I'm doing business, then I'm always going to be, business. So I'm going to contact you as my, personal self and
Brad.
everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Brad McKee.
Okay. But
But
when you're
yeah, if
doing
I'm
live streams like this, as you're a guest on a live stream or a podcast, what would you want to be referred to as?
it's your preference. It's your show. If you want to call me Brad, you can call me Brad. If you want to call me the legend J Mac, you can call me the legend J Mac. Nobody else calls me that except for podcasters. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the legend J Mac. Okay. So why the legend?
Well, it's a really funny story. So of course J Mac came from my name is Jason Bradley McKee.
Okay.
So
That makes
the
sense.
J
Okay. There you go.
right. The J Mac was just a friend of mine calling me, Jason McKee, shortening it up, J Mac.
Okay.
The legend came about, it started out as like a joke because I was playing basketball about 30 years ago with some friends of mine. I'm a huge Larry Bird fan. And I kept telling the guys I was playing with, I was like, man, this guy cannot guard me. I was like, just give me the ball. Let me get him down on the block, and I will just shoot a post-up fadeaway, and we'll end this game. Well, I did just that and everything. But the funny thing about it was as we were kind of like breaking out of our little huddle to get ready to, take the ball out, my other friend on my team's looking at me going, all right, legend, show us how it's done. Larry Legend, come on, Larry. So I went home and was fooling around with a video game, and the nickname The Legend was on there. So I just grabbed it, and it's been a thing ever since.
Wow. It's funny you mentioned Larry Bird. I am in the heart of Larry Bird country. He went to Indiana State University, which is about 15 miles that way. My sister graduated from there. So this whole area I'm in is Indiana State University area, and he was huge. I mean, I was a little kid at the time, but he was huge around here.
That's the man right there. I'm a Celtic fan, die hard.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I got Larry Bird figures hanging up on my wall. Yeah, I got
Wow.
a Funko Pop Larry Bird. My mom got to meet him when she was a kid. Not when she was a kid, when I was a kid. She went to a celebrity golf tournament, and Leslie Nielsen was there.
Oh, wow.
Kyle Macy. There was a bunch of big stars there, and Larry Bird was there, and my mom's up there wearing her Celtics 33. I've been up to Indianapolis a couple times to watch the Celtics play. Of course, it was cheaper to go to the Pacers games than it was to the Celtics games in the 80s. So
where do you live?
I'm in Central Kentucky.
Central Kentucky. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Yep.
Couldn't tell by your accent. No, not at all.
Right.
No.
Not at all. I don't sound like I walked out of a holler in 1833 or nothing.
I tell you, it's funny you mentioned Larry Bird because my mom was telling me last night there is in Terre Haute, Indiana, where Indiana State University is. And that's where he went to school. Outside of Terre Haute, there's this, and I'm not going to mention any names here because it's not fair for me to do so. But there's a guy who owns a lot of property, and every year he has what he calls a barn party, and it's huge, and you have to get tickets for it. It's like 50, 60, 70 bucks a ticket. All you can eat, what's it called? Barbecue buffet. All you can drink. Well, yeah, all you can drink. They got beer. Basically, I don't think they have any hard liquor. Just all beer and soda pop. And he has exotic animals everywhere around the place where you can go. It's like a petting zoo type thing, but without the petting. But exotic animals everywhere. They have bands, and it goes on all night. One of those kind of things. And this guy is good friends with Larry Bird. So a long time ago, when they first started doing this, my mom and dad got invited. My dad's passed, God rest his soul. But mom went there and with mutual friends. So they got this tour of this guy's house, which is a freaking mansion. And as they were touring it before the party started, Larry Bird was there. This guy's best friends with Larry Bird. I shouldn't say best friends. They're friends with Larry Bird. Mom said he shook his hand, and she says, I came up to his waist. He was that tall. My mom's a little bitty thing. Yep. She said he was the nicest guy, though.
Yeah, my mom's the same way. She's about 5 foot tall, and when she met Larry Bird, she still tells people to this day, she says, he called me honey. Yeah, I'm an old school Celtics fan. I love those 80s Celtics, the Lakers Celtics rivalry. Nothing better in sports, in my opinion.
Now, here's something. I am not a basketball fan at all. I don't claim to be, never was. But in the 90s, I worked in Indianapolis, and I was a bartender at a restaurant. It was called the Cooker Bar and Grill. It's no longer in existence anywhere. But as the Pacers started getting to be more and more into playoffs, when the Pacers played, my income went up. Okay, just so people came to watch the game. So I became a Pacer fan, and I would freely admit I was a bandwagon guy. I jumped on the bandwagon, and every year I'd move closer to the front, because the Pacers were good throughout the 90s. They had Reggie. Reggie Miller was basically a big guy coming out of there. Now, if you lived in Indianapolis during that time, the mid-90s, mid to late 90s, it was a blast being a Pacer fan. You would literally, and I had this happen to me, you'd pull up at a stop sign or a stoplight, I should say, and there's a guy beside you, and you have your windows down, and you'd be both blaring the Pacer game, like, yeah, all right, yeah, boom, baby, was the big sign, was the big cheer, because the radio announcer, every time Reggie would hit a three, he'd say, Reggie for three, boom, baby. But then the whole city was going apeshit for the Pacers, and it was just so much fun to be a Pacer fan at that time. And then when Larry Bird took over as being the coach for the Pacers, even better at that point.
Oh yeah,
so
the prodigal son came home.
There was I'd go to a nightclub on a Friday or Saturday night with the girlfriend I was seeing at the time, and if the Pacers were playing, especially if it came to even in the middle of the season, if there was a close game at the end, they would turn off all the music and turn on all the TVs so the whole place would watch the Pacer games. It was unreal how much everybody just loved to watch the Pacers. Again, I wasn't a basketball fan.
Right.
But I would schedule stuff around watching the Pacer game at the time because it was just fun to do. The commentary, the players, the city, the atmosphere was just out of this world. Now, again, I could tell you, I couldn't tell. I guess there's playoffs going on right now in NBA. I didn't know it. Yes. And I just flipped through the stations a little bit ago. I don't follow NBA.
I'm the same way. I used to be a diehard sports fan in general. And I would say probably the last 5 or 6 years, I've just fell to the wayside of keeping up with it. You know, it's like I watched the Super Bowl this past year because my Patriots were in there. How I grew up in Central Kentucky and all my favorite pro teams are from Boston, I don't understand. Because I'm a Sox fan, I'm a Celtics fan, and a Patriots fan. I don't know how that happened, but
you're a Sox fan. Wow, you're in the middle of a Reds and Cardinal country over there.
Right.
You're at, yeah.
Well, I have a soft spot for the Reds because whenever I lived up in Covington, I lived outside of Covington, but not a lot of people know the city that's
Covington,
outside
Ohio
of
or Kentucky?
Kentucky.
Okay.
But my dad stepdad, he worked on the railroad up there, and we got tickets to Reds games all the time, Bengals games, Reds games. So I had the luxury. That's one thing I can say is during my sports fan years, I've got to see Larry Bird play. I got to see Boomer Esiason play, and I got to see Johnny Bench and Pete Rose play.
Oh. Well, hold on a second. I got something for you, Pete Rose. Okay. So I just told you I was a bartender for all those years, and basically throughout the 10 years of the 90s. I think it was like 8 years, but just say 10 years. And my favorite baseball player of all times, and I'll say this till the day I die, the best player to ever step on a baseball diamond by far, without question, is Pete Rose.
Charlie
without question,
Hustle.
is Pete Rose. That's right. So I had a couple that came into the restaurant/bar quite frequently, and we talked about baseball all the time. They knew I was a Pete Rose fan. They gave me this right there.
Oh,
this is a
beautiful.
one of a kind. You cannot find this anywhere else. It's a hand-drawn Pete Rose thing. Hand-drawn Pete
beautiful.
Rose, number 4192. This is a one of a kind. Even if I go to sell this, I don't even know how much it would be. Now,
You would have to have it appraised.
I don't even know where to get it appraised or how to do it.
An art appraiser.
Okay. I guess
Yeah, because I have a drawn picture that's similar like that. It's one of a kind. I mean, it's not exactly like that, but mine's of Elvis, and somebody done a hand drawing like that and everything. And it's I want to get it appraised, but I was looking into it, and they told me I would have to get it appraised by an art dealer because it is considered art.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I have this, and I have a shoebox full of old baseball cards. Nothing major in them as well, because it's speaking of appraisals. And so I brought it to a local baseball card show about a year and a half ago, and the guy looked through all the cards. He says, I'll give you $80 for them. I'm thinking $80. I think they're worth more than that. Like, there's got to be some good ones in there. I mean, he just went through them really quick, and he said there's not. So I'm thinking if I go to a bigger show, I might get a little more for them, but I don't know. Hey, JD says, yo, guys, looking good. He says, getting us some traction, Holmes. He's sharing us out. So, JD, if you're watching, I'll have you come on in a little bit as well, because we're going to do something. At least I have something planned. I have something planned for. It would be better to have more than 2 people on here. 3 or more would be best. So we'll see how this is going here. We'll get that in just a second.
Right.
If you're still watching, I don't know. So are you not a Kentucky fan of anything like basketball?
I cannot stand UK, and it's sad too because, it's funny too because my I don't want to say he's my former uncle because I still claim him as my uncle, but my uncle used to play for UK, and
wow.
Melvin Turpin. It was a married in situation. Yes,
okay.
I'm not I'm not mixed or anything like that, but people look at me all the time and they're like, Melvin's black. I'm like, I know, I get it, but it's my stepdad. But yeah, I used to give him crap all the time about UK and Louisville, but I don't know. I grew up in households where Louisville and Indiana, Go Bobby Knight, were the the mainstays and everything, and it was just UK was secondary. And it just, I guess whenever I found out, of course, being older now, I found out too that no program out there is 100% squeaky clean,
of course.
But when I found out what happened with, and I ain't going to try to go into no details and call anybody out, but there were incentives for certain people to come to UK at that time.
Of course.
And when I found that out, I was just like, I can't back a team that everybody's like, no, they don't do things like that. They're one of the programs that don't do things like that. And then of course, late 80s, and they're getting sanctioned for doing exactly that. So it was just like, I don't know. It was just a a family thing. I stayed
Mm-hmm.
on board with Louisville and Indiana, and those are my teams. I'm a Hoosier and a Cardinal.
Wow.
I'm a traitor to my state.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm in the heart of Indiana. Like I said, just down the road from ISU. And where I live, we're about halfway between IU and Purdue. Now, in basketball, IU and Purdue are huge rivalries.
Yep.
IU and Kentucky are big rivalries.
Oh, yeah.
I am not a fan of either of them, of any of them, because I'm not a basketball fan. And I said this often, and I'll keep saying this. I was so bad at basketball. I'm probably the only kid who grew up in Indiana that sucked at basketball. That I wouldn't, if I played a pickup game, I wouldn't be the last one to get picked. I'd be the one that one team would say, you can have him. They'd tell the other team, you can have him. That's how bad I was.
I'm the first pick in the draft because I was just given away.
That's basically how it was, And now baseball, different story. Hey, you wanted me on the team. We're playing baseball. But then when I got to college, I played a couple years in college. It wasn't any fun. I was sitting the bench. I wasn't as good as I thought I was. So I quit playing, and I said, you know what? Might as well hit the books and study hard. And I did. Became on the dean's list, not to brag, but just part of it. And have I done anything with my degree? No. Not a damn thing.
Well, it's tough when you grow up being an athlete and you think, and you've been praised and stuff, and you're going to college from your community and this, that, and yeah. And I guess it harkens back to what my grandpa used to say: big fish in a small pond, as opposed to a small fish in a big pond.
Oh, yeah.
You get up there into the colleges and the lower level pros and stuff, and you realize maybe I wasn't as good as everybody tried to tell me I was.
Were you an athlete in high school?
I did. I never played. I played a little bit of college, high school football, but most of my athletics was just pickup games and stuff like that. But I played basketball, I played baseball, I played football.
How big was your since now we're in graduation season or just ended around here? How big was your graduating class in high school?
Oh Lord, it wasn't very big. I want to say maybe, if I had to estimate, 100 people.
Okay.
Mine
was about 150, 153, something like that. Yeah.
It was small. It was a small town. It was a urban town right outside of Lexington.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, it wasn't huge, but it wasn't, small either, I guess. I don't know, as compared to other towns and stuff like that.
I tell people that people say, how are your, I got asked once, how are your grades in high school? I said, I was in the 1/3 of the class that made the upper 2/3 possible.
Right. I was on the dean's list, but it was because I was in his office every other week getting in trouble.
Now I didn't go that far because my dad would kick my ass if I got in too much trouble. That's different times than it is now. That's for certain.
Right. I pushed every button I possibly could. I know that much.
Now, I made better grades in college than I did in high school because I understood and learned how to study.
Yeah.
That was different. And I also found out, at least at my college, that every textbook that you could get, because college textbooks at that time, and I don't know about now, but at the time that was such a ripoff. You'd buy it for $100 and then you sell it back for, $7 at the end of the year. It was such a ripoff. But every college textbook that was offered in the school was in the school library.
Yeah.
You just couldn't check it out. Like, I did not know that. I found that out my senior year. So my second semester senior year, I didn't buy any books. I went to the library every day. It was a small school, small college. I went to the library, and the books I needed, I hid. I shouldn't have, but I did. And that's what got me on Dean's List. My first semester senior year, I was on Dean's List. Yeah.
It's funny you say that because I know a girl who did something similar, but instead of hiding the books, she just Xeroxed them. She Xeroxed every page from front to back, and she had the book at home.
I could have done that, but I wasn't going to study in my dorm room.
Right. There were more important things going on there. No, I'm just
TV and beer, basically what it was.
It's funny you were talking about Indiana State University because being such a big Bird fan and stuff and everything,
Yeah.
I actually know that stupid song that they came up with for Larry Bird when he came to
Oh my
Indiana
God.
State. It's like you started talking about it, and the words and the melody and everything just started going
I
off
guess
in
I don't
my
even know what
head.
you're talking about. I didn't know there was a song for Larry Bird.
The one that says, wherever Hoosiers gather, they no longer talk of weather. Indiana has a new state bird. Now his claim to fame is just the way he plays the game. Indiana has a new state bird.
Oh my gosh.
It's not
Dude.
the Cardinal now. Hey Larry, take a bow. Indiana has a new state bird.
Oh my God.
There's the entertainment portion of the show.
That can't be topped. We got to end the show now. Goodbye, folks. What the heck was that? I've never heard that before, and I live here.
Yep.
I've never heard that before.
I tell people all the time, before you wanted to be like Mike, Indiana had a new state bird.
Wow. That is
Told you I'm a bird fan. But see, that's the way I am.
You're a bird nerd.
Yes. And that's me. Whenever I really find something that I really want and I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm. I got to refill my glass, by the way.
Oh, you're fine. Go ahead. I'm going to be doing the same here in a moment myself. My uncles, one of my uncles was my biological dad was never around. And so my uncles were real big influences on me in my life. And one of my uncles was a school teacher, and the other one just loved seeking knowledge. And he was constantly reading. He read books, Isaac Shelby, and how he, hid from Indians and stuff in Kentucky and stuff like that and everything. He would read all that stuff, frontier stuff and everything. So I guess I just picked up, the constantly learning and taking in information from them. And then it got to the point to where if I was really interested in something, I went head first into it and learned everything I possibly could.
Good for you.
I would probably say that, and well, I've been told that I've got the most trivial knowledge locked away in my mind that just facts will just pop into my head in conversations. But well, did you know that?
Do you ever go out and play any trivia at local bars or anything of that sort online or anything?
I don't, and I would love to, but I just don't have a friend group to go with. I don't want to be that one guy sitting in the corner that's playing by myself and stuff.
I am.
Either.
That's how I do it.
Well, see, there you go. You're in Indiana. We need to meet up right in the middle and find a bar we can go to and just be a team.
Speaking of, here's a funny story, and I was telling my mom this today. I drive my mom around. She doesn't like she drives, but she can't stand driving. So if she needs to go someplace, I usually drive her. I drive Miss Daisy around. It's an ongoing joke. So we were driving today, and a song came on the radio from the Zach Brown band called the Highway 40 Ride.
I love that song.
Love that song. Absolutely. So let me give you a little backstory. When I lived in Florida, I lived there for 5 years. I started singing karaoke. Not the greatest, but I'm also not going to embarrass myself. All right. So I moved back here to Indiana, where I grew up, back over here. And I said, I need to find a bar to go sing karaoke, or places to sing karaoke, because I like doing it. So I found a small bar, started going there. And the KJ, as they're called, it's an industry term, the karaoke jockey.
Yep.
His name was Jamie. God rest his soul. He passed a couple years ago of cancer, unfortunately. But he would sing that song when it came out, and he would nail it to a T. And I try to sing it, and I always think of him when I do it now, because once again, it brings a tear to my eye. But anyway, the story is, when I first started going there, I tell him my name's Andrew. He put my name on a marquee. When it comes to the time to sing, I go up there and sing, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't a very big bar, so I got up there several times a night to do it. And after 4 or 5, 6 weeks, something like that, I'd walk in. I said, "Hey, dude," and give him a big hug, a bro hug, and shake hands and everything else. He goes, "What was your name again?" I'm like, "Dude, really?" I said, "If I was a excuse my language, folks, for the ones listening. I said, if I was a big-titted blonde, you would know my name. He goes, you're damn right I would, but you're not. So what is your name?
Right.
He says, you're damn right I would, but you're not.
There are so many things that you just said with that story that I can relate to. My mom has macular degeneration, so she lives with me because she's going blind. And I have to drive her everywhere. So I understand that. My grandpa, he was a local musician, but he got to, he was real good friends with Ernest Tubb Flat and Scruggs. We still have the letters that they wrote to each other, just friendly letters between them. My grandpa got the opportunity to go down to Nashville and sing the Ryman Auditorium a couple times, Grand Ole Opry for those that don't know, the original Ryman too. He also got invited to Ernest Tubbs record shop to play a couple of times and everything. So yeah, I'm one of those guys that I've been up on stage with because my uncle, out of necessity, learned how to play the drums for my grandfather. And so my uncle became a musician and a singer. People ask me all the time who my favorite singer is, and I tell them Jimmy McKee, but you probably never heard of him. My grandpa's stuff is we found a few of his radio programs that he had back in the 60s. And we put them on YouTube and everything. There's about a 30-minute piece of his radio show from the 60s on YouTube.
So is your grandpa still around?
No, unfortunately, he passed away at 43 years old.
Oh my word!
Yeah, he had a stroke and passed away.
Wow.
Unfortunately, but like I said, his music's still being sold. There is a record company up in New York called Wolf Tex Records, and they've got a compilation album that's got my grandpa on there. It's got Harold Montgomery, which is John Michael Montgomery and Eddie Montgomery's dad.
Wow.
My grandfather actually, and not being braggadocious or anything like that, but my grandfather taught Harold how to play the guitar. Harold's very first band was called the Terry Tuners, which was named after my mother. Her name's Terry.
That's sweet.
Yeah. It's like, you was talking about doing karaoke and everything. I didn't mean to go off on that.
No, it's fine.
But because of all that and everything, I love doing karaoke. I love music. I have a stupid knowledge of music as well. Like in high school, people would bet me $1 that they couldn't find an Elvis song that I didn't know.
Oh, wow.
And like, that's how I would make money, man. People would walk up to me and I lived in a very rural city at the time. It wasn't really integrated much and everything. So there was a small group of African-American kids that went to school and everything. It's grown a lot more now, but I was the type of guy that was friends with everybody. And I'd be walking through the hallway and my friends, they would grab me and be like, hey, they call me Elvis. Hey, Elvis, sing that song that Elvis sang about the ghetto.
The ghetto. Wow. Yeah.
It blew him away that he actually done a song about talking about the ghetto and stuff like that.
That's great.
But yeah, I do karaoke myself. My cousin and his girlfriend, they actually found a Hardee's. Yes, the restaurant where a bunch of people get together and they have karaoke every Saturday night at Hardee's. And I call it geriatric karaoke because everybody's like 70 and over.
Here's how I got started, because I wasn't a singer in high school. I played trombone in the band, and I played a little bit. I ran cross country, I should say, and I played baseball. So those are my activities. And my junior and senior year, I was in a couple plays and musicals, which were a blast. If you're watching this, as you're a high school kid watching this, get involved with plays and musicals. It was a blast. Trust me on this one. Trust me. But I didn't sing. I didn't do anything like that. And I was in a show choir, but I stunk. I wasn't any good. My dad was like an opera singer. He could have been an opera singer. Absolutely could have been. But I moved around and I found myself in Cleveland. And I went to outside of Cleveland where I lived. And I said, and he started going to church again. That was Catholic church. So in Brecksville, Ohio, which is outside of Cleveland, I started going to a church in Brecksville. Now, if you're a Catholic, you know that all Catholic masses are the same.
Right.
From one step to the last step, it's all the same. You're going to stand up, you're going to kneel, you're going to do all this stuff. Everything's the same. But for whatever reason, when it came time to sing at this particular church, I started singing. Don't know why, but I did. I enjoyed this church. I liked going to this church. It's probably the only church I ever liked going to, and I started singing. Fast forward a couple of years, I moved to Florida, and I was at a bar one night, and the DJ was setting up, the karaoke guy is setting up, and I went up and introduced myself, said, "Hi, how you doing?" I was the only one in the bar, and he was the only one there, so I went up and I said, "Why not? Might as well say hi to him."
Right.
He says, "You're going to sing?" I said, "Dude, I've never done this before." He says, "You'll be fine." He says, "I'll walk you through it." I said, "Okay." All right. And, by the way, hi, Bill. Bill just said hi. And,
Hello, all.
And Linda says, "I'm loving the show tonight." Thank you, Linda. Appreciate that. And JD's waiting to come on. I'll get you on, JD. Hold on a second, buddy.
Calm down, man. Calm down. We'll get you there.
So the first song I sang was Garth Brooks, Two of a Kind, Working on a Full House. On a full house. Nobody was in the place. It was just me. I'm sweating bullets. I mean, I got sweat pouring off of you, but there's nobody in the place. I'm like, I got that done. I'm good. He says, "You want to sing another one?" I said, "Yeah." Again, no one's in the place. But no. He didn't let me go right away. He played a few songs. He sang a few songs. More people started coming in. I'm like, dude, I'm thinking to myself, you got to get me up there. This is getting too many people in here. And next time he calls me up, the place is packed. I don't even remember what my second song was. I was sweating more bullets the second time than was the first time. But he helped me out. He walked me through it. And the guy was great. To this day, I can't thank him enough. And I can't remember the guy's name for the life of me. I saw him several more times after that, because I used to be a regular at his shows and everything else. But I can't thank the guy enough. To this day, I still praise him. But I got comfortable doing it. So I started going to other places. And I was a regular at a local bar. It's called Banditos in Inglewood. Shout out to Banditos. DJ Delicious. There you go. My girl. Absolutely. And we'd have a group of people that went there every Friday and Saturday nights and sang. We had a great time. Nobody was going to win any American Idol contests. But through my course of doing that, I went to other places as well. There is a national competition called, what's it called? Oh, I can't think of the name of it off my head. But one of the national directors for the karaoke competition was in Inglewood, Florida, where I lived, and I befriended her. And she says, "You need to come do the competition." And I'll never win this competition. She says, "Doesn't matter if you win it. I just go and have a good time. Doesn't cost you anything." So I went to a regional competition, and I went through to the state level. Now, what I found out later is everybody who was in the bar that night went on to the state level. Okay. So it wasn't like it was a big deal. So I went to the state competition in Florida. It was a talent quest. That's what it's called, talent quest. And it wasn't all in all 50 states yet, but it was getting there. And they still have it to this day. It's called Talent Quest. They do it once a year. You have regional competitions and you move up in the state competitions. And the winners of the state competitions go on to not Las Vegas, but what's the Reno, Nevada, Reno. And they have a national competition where the top 10 winners from every state in different categories go there to compete for a Nashville contract. The guy who won it the year I went to the state competition, again, I had no business being there, but because I was in the regionals that everybody went through, I was there. He actually lived across the street from me in Inglewood, Florida, where I lived. He and I were buddies. Even to this day, I can send him a message right now. We haven't talked in years, but I can send him a message. He'll know who I am and everything else. He won the national competition that year. As far as I know, he never cashed out that contract to be a singer. and he used to be a backup singer, from what I understand, a backup singer for a couple of Garth Brooks concerts.
That's cool.
The
That
guy was
is
good.
really cool.
The guy was
Like,
good.
I love singing. I've been told I'm okay. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I've been told I'm good, but I don't think I'm that good enough to where I could. If I thought I was that good, I would have actually, sought to
Mhm.
do something with it by now. I love just going and doing, karaoke and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
and leaving it at that. But I've been singing on stage with my uncle since I was like 3 years old. Like,
Now,
my claim to fame is like they used to do these like charity things at the fire department.
mhm.
They'd have his band come in and just play, and it was to raise money. If I'm not mistaken, it was for some kind of fundraiser for the fire department and stuff and
Mhm.
everything. They'd have cookouts, blah blah blah. But that was a 275, 300 person, crowd.
Wow.
And, my claim to fame is, hey, I got up the same blue suede shoes at 3 years old in front of them. And
Oh wow,
I
that's
was
great.
so good that I set the amplifier on fire in the fire department. I tell people all the time that story and everything. My mom's got a picture of me
That's
that,
great.
and it's a still picture, of course, Polaroid. And I've got my like hand up, I'm holding the microphone, and the face I'm making, it looks like I'm like doped out of my mind. 3 years old and everything. It's hilarious and everything the picture is. I love singing. I love music. As you can see, I've got the 4 Beatles characters
Mhm.
right there. I've
Yeah.
got them covered up. John, Paul, George, and Ringo. I'm a huge Elvis fan. I don't do modern music.
Okay.
I'm not when when I was in high school and the grunge movement hit, like, I like a few of the grunge bands,
Mhm.
but as far as like the music from that point forward, it just, to me, there was something lost right in that era. I don't
Okay.
know what it was, but I mean, and I'm not saying that there's not songs that I like we were talking about Highway 40 Ride.
Mhm.
I really like that song. That's
Love that
kind of
song.
on a, yeah, I
Love
do
that
too.
song.
It hits me on a personal level because I
You
a
have
lot of
kids,
people
right?
who don't know, I
Yeah.
do. I have 4 kids, and the reason it hits me, that song hits me on a personal level, is because I openly admit to people, with my first marriage, I was not the husband I should have been, and I
Mhm.
was not the dad I should have been with my
Okay.
first 3 kids. Very blessed man that I have the relationship with my 3 older kids that I have
That's
now,
good. That's
and
good.
that they were willing to let me redeem myself. Very blessed for that. I get to
Good.
enjoy my grandkids and everything, but I also admit where my shortcomings were, and that song just has a special meaning,
Well, it's
especially
it's
that
a powerful
last
song.
line.
It's a
Yeah,
powerful
the
song.
last
Yeah.
line when he says, "When you drive and the
Mhm.
world and the years go driving, flying by, I hope you
Yep, yep, yep,
smile. If
yep,
I ever cross your mind, it was a
yep,
pleasure of my life."
yep,
And
yep,
I cherished every time. In my whole world, it begins and ends with you on that
yep, yep,
Highway
yep.
40. Yeah, that whole song. I love music. I'm
Yeah.
a music head on top of a wrestling head, yes, but I'm a music head. I love history. I love music. I love the history of music.
So you had me with music, but you lost me with history. I don't I am not a history guy whatsoever, and it's not that I dislike history. I just never got into it. My and this is not a knock on any education I had whatsoever, but my formal education in history stopped at the beginning of World War One. I can remember the teacher in high school saying, and this brings us up to World War One, and I don't remember anything beyond that. I don't remember if we even did anything after that because it was my senior year. So
That was the
World
only
War
world
One,
war we had.
World War Two, Korea, Vietnam, anything. I don't know anything about them outside of what I see on movies and everything else. I don't care, and I don't say that in a negative way. I say like it bores me. It doesn't bore me. It doesn't interest me. It won't keep my attention. I'm just not interested in it. My sister, on the other hand, she loves history. And here's a funny story. I got to tell you this. And I've said this before as well on here. My mom and dad are Italian. Like, they both came from Italy. So a few times we've been back to Italy as a family when we was growing up, my sister and I. And a few times we've been back as adults as well, over to visit our cousins and everything else. I have a couple of cousins who's like my sister, loves history. We would go to a town and they'd be looking at this building. Oh, this building was built, 400 years ago. King such and such lived here. This person lived here. This person lived here. My sister's like eating it up. This is great. So it was my sister and myself and my cousin and his wife. We're walking through these places. Oh, this building over here, these rocks were imported from here, and this guy was 500 years ago, lived here, and blah, blah, blah. After a while, I looked at my cousin, I'm like, dude, is there a bar you can drop me off at, please? And you guys keep going doing your stuff. I just want
some of that fine Italian wine.
I just want to drink. Is there a bar you can drop me off at and come get me later? This is boring.
I do admit that, like, I love learning about history, but the part of history that I like to learn about is not the mainstream stuff.
Okay.
I believe a lot of history, and not to go down any rabbit holes or anything like that, but I believe a lot of history has been left out, and we haven't been told the full story of history. So I like to really look into the sides of history that aren't talked about as much. Okay. As the more popular things that, like you said, the stuff you learn in school and stuff like that, that's all fine and good and everything. But I want to know about the stuff that we don't talk about. And why do we not talk about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not. What is that? I've learned more, and of course, because I'm a lot older now. I'm a lot older now. I've learned more about stuff subject-wise outside of school than I did inside of school.
Yes.
And of course, it comes with age as well. But I'm not talking that. I'm like in mathematics. I studied math in high school, in college. I got a math degree. Couldn't tell you the first thing about math anymore. It's been so long. Especially, and I'll freely admit this, I've been in the substitute teaching realm for a lot of years in different high schools. I've substituted at 8 different high schools. That was 8 different high schools, yes. 6 different middle schools and a handful of elementary schools. At first, I was telling everybody, yeah, I have a math degree. Well, all the kids would come up to me and want me to help them with their math. I'm like, I don't understand the math nowadays. I don't get it. It's a whole different kind of math. And plus, a lot of stuff I remember, I studied, couldn't tell you anything about it. So now I tell people I have a radio and television degree, which I did. That was my minor, radio and TV. I can talk about radio and TV, not a problem there, but nobody wants to talk about it, and not especially not high school kids. So I get away scot-free with that one. But I've learned so much more just reading books on my own from since school, and I don't read a whole lot of books, but the books I read, I like. The lesson I want to get for all you kids out there watching right now, not that there's any up out there, all you kids out there watching right now, learn. The biggest skill you can have, in my opinion, is to learn to deal with people.
Yes.
Forget anything else, any other subject out there. You learn to deal with people, and you'll get far in life.
Yeah,
absolutely, you will. In my opinion,
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah,
I have a friend of mine who unfortunately has passed away, and just an example of that. We, it's been more than that, 25, almost 30 years ago, me and a buddy of mine, and of course, the friend of ours that passed away, we all got a job. We just took this job because it was a week long. It was quick cash grab, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember what we were saving the money for.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a cell phone tower being built. We sat there and we decided, we're going to jump on this crew and put this cell phone tower together for a week. It was like at 30 years ago, it was like $15 an hour. So it was pretty good money,
Right.
So we were like, yeah, let's do this. We get there, and within the first 2 hours, me and Uncle Slam, my co-host on
Yeah.
Headlocks,
Yeah.
me and him, we are picking up 250-pound beams and walking them to the next place to put them down and connect them, while we
Dude,
turn
that's a lot.
around and look, and our buddy Dustin is spending the entire day walking around with the guy that's got the blueprints.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting paid the same friggin' amount of money that we are, because he
Absolutely.
learned how to talk to that guy.
Absolutely.
I
Here's
was like,
here's something that, and let me here. Oh, this is something that I don't want to say I brag about this, but I want to make sure I get this out there, because there's so many kids that don't get this. And when I was teaching, especially the seniors, I would tell them, at your graduation party, if you have one, which most seniors do, you're going to get asked the same question by 1,000 different people. What are you going to do now? Smile and answer it. If you're going to go to college, say, I'm going to college, and tell them where you're going to college. If you're not, say, I'm going to work at such and such. But don't get mad because they're asking you. They're there for you. And here's the thing. At your graduation party, high school or college, and I wasn't told this at the time. I wish I would have. And I'll look back now, and I'm sure my dad did, but I just didn't pay attention to him. Talk to the people who were there. They come to see you. And I got two, or now three, stories to tell you. 2 years ago, I got invited to a graduation party of a buddy of mine's grandson, graduated high school. I brought my mom along with me because she knew the family. She didn't know the grandson. So we went there, got the chips, the potato salad, and whatever. Sat down at a table outside because it was a nice area outside. The graduate, who has never met my mother, came over and sat down with us and talked to her 15, 20 minutes, just one-on-one. That was impressive. To me, that's impressive. Another one, this wasn't a graduation party, but Mom and I went to, I'm part of the local Lions Club here in town. It's a service organization. So there's, around the different areas, there's Lions Clubs as well. And I try to support different Lions Clubs when they have dinners and stuff like that. So Mom and I went to a dinner at the local, at a nearby community's local Lions Club, who Mom knows some of the people there, and I knew some of the people there, being in the club. And just by chance, one of the members of the club's two grandsons were there. These two grandsons I had at school when I was a substitute teacher. They come over and said, "Hey, Mr. P, how's it going?" They call me Mr. P for Poletto. "Hey, no problem." I said, "Guys, this is my mom." Blah blah blah. And I introduced them to my mom. They both. Now, this one just graduated, one graduated the year before. They both sat down at the table and started talking to my mother. Now, that is unheard of for an 18 or 19-year-old kid talking to an 80-year-old lady. Unheard of, especially if they never met him before. They completely ignored me, which I was fine with, and started talking to my mother. Now, on the flip side, that was all positive. On the flip side, my mother and I went to a graduation party several years ago. My mother was invited to it. I just tagged along. We showed up at the house. The graduate never got up from the table to say hello, shake my hand, shake Mom's hand, or anything, and know she was there. That pissed me off. I said, those are two extremes right there. So Who do you think, if somebody would come to me for a reference, who do you think I would give it to?
Probably the gentleman that took their time to, give you. And the thing about that situation is it just shows the upbringing that they had.
Exactly.
It shows the impact that you had on them, that they remembered you, and that not only that the impact you made on them was so significant that they wanted to sit down and speak with your mother, the person that taught you to act like the way you acted.
Exactly.
It's called life experience. Whether you realize it or not, you're gaining so much life experience sitting there just talking and listening to 80 years worth of knowledge.
Yeah.
And it may not be, the deepest conversation in the world at all, but it's just those simple little things, those simple acts that will carry you so much further than, like you said, algebra or, knowing the
Exactly.
date that the Emancipation Proclamation happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, education is not what we've called education.
Right.
We've called memorizing facts
Mm-hmm.
education,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not education.
No.
Education is learning life skills.
Right.
You know, there's a reason why my 9-year-old daughter is now learning how to do dishes. She's learning
Good.
how to do, you know, she's learning how to cook herself a couple of scrambled eggs if she wants it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're in 20 years when I'm not around, if you're hungry, you'll be able to take care of that.
That's right. That's right. I taught a class the last 2 years I was teaching, and I was actually full-time teaching. I had a job. It's called JAG, and JAG stands for Jobs for American Graduates. It was a state-run program. It's no longer in existence right now. Don't get me started with that one. But we would try teaching the kids life skills outside after they left school. Now, the majority of the kids were kids that were not going to go on to college. All right, just face it. And we all know what type of kids those were. Not they were bad or anything else, but hey, book wise, I don't want to be here. Let me get out in the real world and start making some money. One of those kind of things. But and my boss reprimanded me for this because I said it online once that I said that the valedictorians are not going to be in my class. And it wasn't a put down, they just weren't. But she says, yes, they will, they'll be in your class. Okay, whatever. But the skills were to teach kids the skills for outside of after they graduated. Okay. And so I took it a step further. I said, not so much the knowledge, but the interaction with people. And I actually brought silverware to the table, to the class one day to show them how to properly use a knife and fork. I don't know if you do or not, JMac, and I'm not here to criticize anybody, whatever, but there's a certain way to hold your knife and fork at the table. And I've freely said this, and I'll say it again. If I go out on a date with somebody and she doesn't hold her knife and fork properly, I will not go out with her again. Especially at my age and the girls my age, if she doesn't know how to do that, that's disgusting. That is such a turnoff to me. So I was in the class. Let me finish the story.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was in the class and I'm showing these kids once. Now I had, unfortunately, the way the school system thought about the program, they put the worst kids in the school, disciplinary problems, worst grades, so on and so forth, thrown in my class, which was fine. I can handle it. But that wasn't what the class was designed for. But anyway, there was a freshman in the class, and what it's supposed to be for juniors and seniors. So there's a freshman in the class who basically put his head down the whole time and said, I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to babysit you. You're going to be an adult. You're going to learn to be an adult or you're not. Simple as that in my class. He was a pain in the ass. But this one day, and I passed out the knives and fork, he held it properly, or at least in a respectful fashion. I'm like, dude, where'd you learn that? He said, my mom makes sure that we learn this as growing up. I'm like, that's good for your mother. I said, yes. You keep that attitude and get rid of that stupid attitude you have that the whole world owes you something, which is a whole different story.
Right.
You keep that attitude of politeness and respect that your mom taught you, you're going to go far. Whether he did or not, I don't know, because he wouldn't do anything else in the class. But the rest of the class is looking at him like he's doing it right. And I pointed him out for it. And I think he was kind of I propped him up a little bit. I said, the dude's doing it right. You know, I don't care what his background is. I don't care what his grades are or what kind of person he is. If he's doing it right, I'm going to say you're doing it right. And he was. I said, that's respectful how you do it.
Yeah.
So that's one way to.
I was going to say, I know the salad fork. I know, the soup spoon and all that stuff, but I can't say that I know that there's an actual legit way to hold a knife and a fork.
There is.
But I do teach my daughter that when you cut your, meat and stuff with a knife, don't set your knife back on that napkin or down on the plate. You put it right there on the top of your, across the top of your plate and everything. Just lay it right there so that way it's not, making a mess anywhere else or anything.
That one I didn't know that one. Say that because a certain way to hold a knife and fork. Look it up. It takes 10 seconds to learn. Excuse me.
What?
Takes 10 seconds to learn. And once you learn it, you can't unlearn it, and you're going to see it everywhere. And another
See,
thing about knife and fork, if you cut a piece of food, whether it's steak, potato, whatever, you cut it so the piece you cut fits into your mouth. You don't want to cut it so it's big and you have to rip it off like it's like a caveman spear chucker type thing. You don't want that.
you don't want to
want
take a whole a New York strip, cut it in half, and then just stab it and put it up to your face and start ripping it off.
No, you don't want to do that. And I was telling the kids that. I said, no, if it's too big to put in your mouth, cut it again.
That's it. That is exactly
and people make fun of me for this one. I told people in class, and the kid says, Mr. P, if I ever go out with you and you do this, I'm going to leave the table. A pizza. I will cut a pizza with my knife and fork and eat it with my fork instead of putting it up to my mouth. Slice of pizza.
Okay.
That's how that excuse me. That's how I am with it because it's so ingrained in me to do it properly. I don't know.
Well, see, like I didn't know, and you was talking about you being having Italian ancestry and stuff and everything.
Yep.
I didn't know there was a proper way to eat spaghetti. I didn't know you were supposed to use a spoon to eat spaghetti.
No.
Is that not proper? See, I was told that was the proper way. So okay,
depends on where in Italy you're from.
Okay.
See, my family's from northern Italy. More southern Italy, you use a spoon to do it. I have one cousin that in the northern part that I know of because I've been there several times and we get together, and believe me, we have a ball when we get together. Of all my cousins, on my dad's side alone, there is 16 first cousins, and we're all still alive. I'm one of the youngest. I'm the third from the youngest. Okay,
That's awesome.
Everybody else is older than me. There's only been 3 or 4 times at the most that we've all been together at the same time, and it was a blast. And of all the times I've been there, and all the times that we've been together, which hasn't been much, and I spent times with all of my cousins. There's only one I have seen who uses a spoon for his spaghetti. Only one. Yeah, only one. And I've tried it several times. I can't do it.
I don't get it. I
don't
tried
get it either.
myself, but I'm like, this doesn't work. I'm just gonna. So I just solved the problem. I stopped using noodles and just started using like smaller stuff that I could just stab.
Do you cut your spaghetti?
No, I don't even. I don't use noodles in my spaghetti anymore. I use like rotini and stuff like that.
Dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm probably pissing every full-blooded Italian off in the world by saying something like that.
Let me tell you the easiest and probably the most tasty spaghetti recipe ever. Dude, we are going off on so many tangents on this podcast. And I thank you first of all for being here. I know JD's waiting in the presence. So JD, you've been on here enough, buddy. I'm focusing on that. I'll get you on here again. All right. So get some Italian sausage at the store. Whatever brand you like, the local brand, national brand, whatever. Take the skin off of the sausage and crumble it up. Put it in the frying pan and let it cook. While that's cooking, get your spaghetti ready. Boil your spaghetti. Whatever kind, whether it's spaghetti, mostaccioli, penne, linguine, whatever. Get it ready. Once it's done cooking, make sure your sausage is all browned up already and everything cooked. Put the spaghetti in the pan with the sausage. Nothing else, just those two. Mix them together. Parmesan cheese. I'm telling you, you'll never want to go back to it.
Okay,
that's it. See, nothing else. Nothing else.
You've already got dinner planned for tomorrow.
And tell me if that's not one of the best meals you've ever had. No red sauce, no white sauce, no nothing else. Just spaghetti, Italian sausage. If you want to get what's it called around here, it's a Johnsonville brats.
Johnsonville like brats, yeah.
Not even the brats, just Italian sausage. If you want to try brats, go for it.
Right.
But just that. Brown them up. whether you have 2 or 6, whatever, however much meat you want to put in there, depends on how many people there's. Cook your spaghetti, pasta, whatever, put it in the pan. I'm telling you what, a little Parmesan cheese, and tell me if that's not one of the best meals you've ever had right there.
I will be reporting back to you by the next episode of Popcorn and Whiskey. I can promise you that. You will be able to update people by the time the next episode goes live. Because now I'm a foodie. I love food. I love to eat. I mean, I didn't get this little belly on me and everything by not enjoying a little bit of food. So
dude, I can cook. I can tell you pasta's easy. Another one. Butter and garlic in a pan, cook your pasta, put it in there, take it off the heat, put a couple of egg yolks, not the white, just the egg yolks in there.
Okay.
Mix it together. I'm telling you what, you'll never go back to red sauce again.
So basically butter garlic noodles with a couple of egg yolks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to have to try that. See, you got my daughter's going to love getting recipes from you because she absolutely loves any Italian food whatsoever. She's all about her Alfredo. She's all about her. Yeah. If it's got to be this noodle with this kind, or it's just not right. And there's nothing Italian about her. She's
good
Puerto Rican. She's, I was like,
there used to be a television show on the Cooking Network. I don't know if you're probably old. Yeah. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I will be 49 in January.
Oh, you're just a pup. I have a few years on you.
But I wish my knees felt like pups.
On the cooking channel, do you remember Emerald Live?
Emerald Lagasse. I love Emerald.
Emerald's great.
I love him.
He said something that my dad had always said, and people blasted him for it. Emerald finally said something. He says, because people say, you eat you drink white wine with fish, red wine with pasta, whatever, blah, blah, blah. My dad always says, drink what you like and don't worry about it. Finally, Emerald said that one of his shows. If you like white wine with your red sauce, drink it. If you like red wine with your white your seafood sauce, drink it. Drink what you like. Like my dad's always said that, and people blasted him for it. But finally, he was vindicated from that. Emerald was great. Yes. I love what he said once. He says, "This dish is a 2-beer dish." He says he's pouring one beer in there. He says you have to let that cook, and the other beer he's drinking it. Once you're done drinking this, the dish is done drinking this beer. The dish is done.
Should be done by that point. I'm gonna take you back even further. You was talking about Emerald. I used to. I don't know what it is. Before the Food Network and stuff, I was all about watching like PBS chefs and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, do you remember the PBS guy Wok with Yan?
No, not at all.
Oh my gosh, I used to watch this guy all the time. And everything he cooked was in a wok.
Oh wow!
But the
was
dude,
it Oriental?
Yes.
Okay.
And he would sit there and take some like garlic or something, and he'd be chopping it up and everything. And the man could like chop like no other I've ever seen. He could take one little bitty old piece of garlic and make 50 chops in it and do it in like 3 seconds and everything. But it was funny because he would get to chopping like carrots or cucumber or something like that. About halfway through, he would just stop and he would just look up at the camera and he'd go, ah, and just smile. And then he'd just go back to chopping and everything. It was hilarious the way he did. But yeah, look up old Wok with Yan clips. They are absolutely hilarious. But I love cooking shows.
Wow.
Who's the Louisiana guy back in the day?
Louisiana guy.
Oh, all I can see is his blue denim shirt. He had white hair, glasses, a white mustache. I want to say he had red suspenders on. I can never remember his name, but he was always teaching you how to make some jambalaya or something like that and everything. I cannot ever think of his name to save my life, but I watched him and Wok with Yan all the time on PBS.
Wow, I don't know who that is. That's great.
Yes, I used to love watching that stuff. It's hilarious.
I told especially the senior boys, in the schools I was always in. I said, guys, learn to cook basic dishes. And here's why. You're going to go out on dates and you're going to get tired of going to restaurants. Invite them to your place or they'll invite you to their place if they know you can cook. Bring a bottle of wine while you're cooking. And forgive me, ladies, for who's watching this, but you know I'm talking the truth here. The ladies will sit there with a glass of wine as you're cooking something basic, whether it's pasta or chicken or whatever, and they will get they will get trashed drinking the wine while you're cooking. You might never even get to the meal, if you know what I'm talking about. I've had this happen dozens of times. Believe me when I tell you this. It is the cheapest, easiest way to get laid. And I'm telling you right now, it is.
And the worst chicken in the world tastes good when you're drunk.
Exactly. Bring a bottle of wine and whatever. If you don't want to do it at your place, do it at her place.
Right.
I had a girl tell me once, and this is not a bragging thing, it's just a life thing. As I'm cooking, I said, "Are you doing okay over there?" She goes, "Are you kidding me? I have a hot guy cooking on my stove and I'm drinking wine. I'm doing great." I'm like, "Oh yeah."
If that don't tell you the night's going good, I don't know what does.
You better believe I'm getting laid tonight. Absolutely. Right.
It's funny. You was mentioning something earlier about you was talking about the Catholic thing and everything. I have a joke to tell you. It's not a horrible joke, but it's okay. Hilarious. So prostitute decides to go to mass. Well, she's walking down the street and the preacher's up on the steps welcoming everybody in and everything. And just before she starts walking up the steps to the church, she trips and falls. And of course, the pastor sees her and everything. And she stands up and straightens herself up and everything and looks up at him and says, "Father, is mass out?" He said, "No, but your hat's on crooked."
No, but your hat's on crooked?
Is mass out? No, but your hat's on crooked. Is my ass out? She tripped and fell.
Is my... What? Okay, wait. Okay, wait. I'm missing something here because you're saying it too fast. I'll say it again.
Okay. Girls, prostitutes walking down the street.
Yeah. Wait, walking down the street, or is she in church, or is she walking down the street?
She's going down. She's going to church. She's walking up to the church to go to church. She is a prostitute, so she's walking down the street to go to church.
Okay.
Just before she starts walking up the steps of the church, she trips and falls. As she steps up and she's straightening herself out, she looks up at the pastor that's welcoming people and she says, "Is mass out?" He says, "No, but your hat's on crooked."
Is my ass out? Okay. Okay.
No, but your hat's on crooked.
Oh, geez.
It's terrible. It's a Saturday night and I've been drinking wine. Give me a break.
I got one for you. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So this lady's in church and the guy in front of her keeps falling asleep. The preacher's up there preaching. He says, "So who is seated at the right hand of the Father?" The guy dozes off. The lady takes out her hat pin, pokes the guy in front of her. He goes, "Jesus Christ." And the father says, "Very good. Good job. All right." So he's going on some more, and the guy's starting to doze off. And the father says, "So who parted the seas?" The guy's dozing off. The lady takes out her hat pin, pokes him again, and goes, "Holy Moses." The father says, "That's right. Good job. Way to go." All right. So the father keeps talking. And the priest keeps talking, and the guy's dozing off. He said, "So what did Eve say to Adam in the Garden of Eden?" He's dozing off. She takes off her hat pin, sticks him. He goes, "Lady," he says, "If you stick me with that thing one more time, I'm going to rip it off."
That's great.
I told that to a nun friend of mine several years ago who passed away, God rest her soul. passed away. I thought she was going to pee her pants. She was laughing so hard.
What's
That was great.
I can't remember the one. Like there was one that was going around, and it's an old joke, but it talks about how at the pastor or father came out to do Sunday mass, and he was asking for tips from the older Monsignor, and he told him, he said, "Here's a little tip." He said, "Instead of water," he said, "because I know you're nervous up there. Instead of water, put just a little bit of vodka in your drinking glass."
My kind of mass, my kind of church.
He said, "And then, that way you'll relax and everything. And then, whenever you do your first mass, come back and see me and we'll talk about, how you did and everything." Well, I don't remember everything he said, but there was a list of things that he did. So he tells him, he said, "So how did I do?" He says, "Well, there's a few suggestions I have for you." He said, "What's that?"
No.
He said, "First of all, when it comes to the water," he said, "sip the water. Don't guzzle it by the glassfuls." He said, "Two, we don't refer to the cross as the big T." He said, "We also, when talking about Jesus Christ and his disciples, we don't call him JC and the boys." He said, "And when talking about the beloved Mother Mary, we don't want to call her Mary with the cherry."
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember the rest of them, but
Wow.
there's like 10 or 15 he goes on through like that and everything. But the joke is absolutely hilarious. I remember that from years ago.
So if you don't want to answer it, don't answer it. But are you Catholic or what religion are you? If you don't want to answer it, don't answer it.
Oh, no, I don't care to answer it all. I guess under modern terms, I would be called a Christian.
Okay.
But I don't consider myself religious. Okay. I consider myself a follower of Christ's teachings.
Okay.
I don't want to just assign myself to one thing. You know what I'm saying? What Jesus taught is what I believe we should follow. Okay. Whether that's a Christian, a Catholic, or whatever name you want to put onto it, what he taught, I try to follow what he said.
Okay. I bring that up because I mentioned earlier that when I first started singing karaoke, I was in Brecksville, Ohio. And the church that they had at that time, I don't know now, it's been 20 years. I don't know. Hold on a second here. All right, wait a second here. I got to do this. JD's on here. Well, okay. Hey, JD, what's up, buddy?
There he is.
You sent me an invite, so I just wanted to be clear about that.
That's right. So we're talking about different things of religion. So I'm telling this story. So I was in Brecksville, Ohio. The church is massive, and they have 3 different main priests. I don't know what the terminology is. Forgive me for that. But they're all great speakers, and they do a great mass. Again, I really enjoyed the mass there. And if you are Catholic at all, you know that every mass is the same no matter where you go. They all follow the same stuff. But this particular church, for whatever reason, I really enjoyed it. That's why I kept going every Sunday. I'd go out of my way to get there on Sundays because I enjoyed the church. So it was Easter Sunday, the Easter Sunday Mass. The priest started talking, and I'm sure this is an old joke. I don't know, or an old saying. I don't know how it works. But he started telling the story, and the guy was a great storyteller. Told a story about a couple from Canada who went to Jerusalem to spend some time, and the guy and his wife brought his mother-in-law and father-in-law with him to the trip. They went to all the sites. They saw the sites. They did everything else while they were over there. And while they were there, the mother-in-law passed away. Unfortunately, had a horrific accident. She passed away. So they made for all the arrangements, and the church in Jerusalem said, "Okay, you have 2 options. you can either have her buried here in the Holy Land for $500, or you can have her sent back to Canada, buried over there with her family. It costs you $5,000. So it's totally up to you. You decide, you and your wife decide. The guy says, I'll decide right now. I'm not going to ask my wife to decide. I'll do it right now. I will spend the money to have her sent back to Canada to be buried with her family. And the preacher, the priest said, the holy folks said, okay, that's not a problem. I said, I'm just curious as of why you'd want that, because here she can be, in the Holy Land, the Catholic Holy Land and everything else. And the guy says, Father, I was thinking, I remember one guy being buried here a long time ago, and 3 days later he rose and came back to life. And I didn't want that to happen with my mother alive.
That's great. That is
and the place, the whole church was like they're busting, they're trying to keep a suppressed laugh.
Yeah,
as he's doing it. But the way he told the story was fantastic. I'm in the back just busting a gut, because I'm in the back singing and everything else, like I said earlier. I'm busting a gut. And then also at the Catholic Church, they have the thing where they put like a scepter or something in water, and they sprinkle it on the congregation at certain different
holy
masses,
water.
and you get holy water, and you get sprinkled with water. Well, this guy had a mat, like a broom, but it's a small broom, and he soaked it full of water. He had a bucket of water, not a small thing, but a bucket of water, and he's dousing people as he's going through, and people are getting drenched with this, and people are like, "Holy crap!" You can see them looking, they're down, they don't want to get hit with this stuff because they look like they come out of a shower when they're done with it.
Scrub the sin off people,
and he gets back up to the front. And he puts the water away, does everything else. He gets up to the microphone. He says, was that as much fun for you guys as it was for me?
That's hilarious.
It was great. I love this church. It was great. So, JD, thanks for being here, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a pleasure to be on your show. Popcorn, whiskey, and weed.
That's right. Popcorn, whiskey, and weed. So
and wine. And wine.
And wine.
Whiskey, weed, and wine tonight. There we go. All right.
Andrew, the joke I was telling you about earlier, I pulled up all the suggestions that the priest told the Monsignor told the priest after he came back for the suggestions. The first suggestion was sip the vodka, don't gulp. He said the second thing, there are 10 commandments, not 12. 3, there are 12 disciples, not 10. 4, he said Jesus was consecrated, not constipated. Jacob wagered his donkey. He did not bet his ass. It says, we do not refer to Jesus Christ and his disciples as JC and the boys. The Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost are not to be referred to as Daddy Jr. and the Spook. He said David slew Goliath. He did not kick the crap out of him. When David was hit by a rock and knocked off his donkey, don't say he was stoned off his ass.
I like that one.
It says we do not refer to the cross as the big T. When Jesus broke bread at the Last Supper, he said, take this and eat it, for it is my body. He did not say, eat me.
That's a good one.
The Virgin Mary is not called Mary with the cherry. The recommended grace before a meal is not rub-a-dub-dub. Thanks for the grub. Yeah, God.
Oh, my gosh.
And finally, next Sunday, there will be a taffy pulling contest at St. Peter, not a Peter pulling contest at St. Taffy.
That's great. I like that.
I heard that when I was about 15 years old or so, and I was like, wow, okay, this is funny. Great. I didn't know why it was all funny at the time, but it was funny.
Folks, the folks who are still here, thank you. First of all, thank you for being here. We've been on for at least I've been on for an hour and 40 minutes. Holy crap.
I've probably been here for an hour with you.
Probably an hour. Yeah, absolutely. We've been having a good time.
Mhm.
So those who are familiar with my show, they know JD is my buddy. He's a great guest. He comes on quite a bit. Appreciate you, JD. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
JD, plug your you have 2 podcasts, right? Or
Yeah,
2
yeah.
live streams?
Yeah, Mayhem Media. That's the one that the little picture. I'm sorry, I don't have my camera on because I don't have a shirt on, and I don't like to come on other people's shows shirtless.
No, we don't want you on here shirtless either way.
Yeah, I know. I'll put you guys to shame. It's okay. It's all
Save
right.
some of the women for us, JD.
I don't
Save
want to
some of the
emasculate
women
you on
for
your show,
us.
Andrew. I completely. That's why I respect you, Andrew. I don't want to emasculate you on your own show. It's okay. But yeah, Mayhem Media. That's all entertainment stuff. In fact, this Monday you're coming on to do our Marvel Cinematic Universe series that we've been doing and going through, and we're going to do Age of Ultron, Avengers 2, Age of Ultron. So, and J-Max also going to be on that episode. We have several other guests that'll be joining the 3 of us. So it'll be a really big, great episode. We were doing those every 2 weeks. After the House of the Dragons getting ready to come out in about a month, we'll do a show following House of the Dragon.
What is that?
It's from the Game of Thrones. You're not a fan.
No, I'm not.
Memory serves that we've talked about. But some of your viewers might be.
Okay.
And then the Boiling Point podcast is the other one. That's where we talk politics, world news, local issues, that type of stuff.
Okay. All right. And J-Mac, go ahead and plug your show. Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc. Or
Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc, Wrestling Unscripted. We go live every Friday night at 8 o'clock. As a matter of fact, if there's ever been an episode that I could tell people to tune in to, please tune in this Friday at 8 o'clock because we will be talking with former WWF enhancement talent Mario Mancini. He was considered what back in the day they called him a jobber, which was the guy who was there to just make the other guy look good and stuff like that. He was one of the main enhancement talent guys in the 80s and 90s for the WWF. He's coming on the show to talk about his experience and stuff. But we go live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook every Friday night at 8 o'clock. We also go live right after that show with a weekly recap of just the news stories from the week in wrestling. But also, I am going to go ahead and plug my new show that I'm getting ready to start. Don't have a name for it yet. But I'm getting ready to start a deep dive show into conspiracy theories. Not necessarily, that I believe in them or don't believe in them. It's just a deep dive, let's go down the rabbit hole and look at these and see what we, think about these conspiracy theories that have come out for years. Some have been confirmed, some have not, so it's just a fun little episode to look at stuff like that too. Get away from the wrestling stuff a little bit.
Okay, dude, I'm going to throw my name out in the hat for this one. I like conspiracy theories. If you need a guest, hit me up, dude. I'd love to come on for this one. But
those are always fun episodes. We have a few of those on the Boiling Point podcast. They're always fun. Yes. To get into that kind of stuff, though.
I think the first episode I really want to try to focus on is the JFK assassination. That's probably my favorite conspiracy theory.
Interesting.
So I really would like to get into that. I don't know because I know that one's going to be a long one, and I don't know if I want to do that to throw. I would like to do that one as the first one. Let me put it that way. But it can get pretty lengthy talking about all the different avenues that could have taken place with and everything. But we're definitely going to be doing some conspiracy theory stuff and everything, like I said, just to get away from the wrestling stuff. And y'all are more than welcome to come on and chit chat it up.
Here's the deal, dude. Take it from somebody who's been doing this for a while. You are the host. You can control how long or how short the episode will be.
So say we all.
But
So
I don't like
say
to.
we
I don't
all.
like to cut it off if it's going good. If the conversation's
I
going
can-
good and the
You're
show,
you're,
is
you're
going
right
good,
about that. But
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is, if you advertise it's going to be an hour, you cut it off at an hour.
right?
That's
Yeah.
you. Now I don't know of any podcasts or live streams outside of like and yes, I'll plug him a little bit, and not that everybody's watching. Timcast IRL that goes for 2 hours a night. Bongino goes for 1 hour or 2 hours in the morning, an hour and a half in the morning. Outside of that, most podcasts or live streams don't have a set time stream that they go on. At least I don't think they do.
Just mine.
The ones I watch don't.
Just mine. Oh, well, okay, great. You don't watch the show, Andrew. Thanks.
I try to keep mine
Yours
right at about an hour.
JD,
And
yours
a half.
do, because you get at the end you want to shut everybody up and get them off the thing.
I will absolutely shut it down when we get too long if we reach that point. Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Gentlemen, I'll be right back. I need to pause for the calls.
Okay, go for it. All right, JD, my friend, you've been busy doing your stuff over there. You got a lot of local stuff going on with your podcasts.
Yeah, the Boiling Point podcast is popping off right now. Yes, it's popping off right now. Yeah, it is. We were talking about we were covering a meeting, and these parents spoke about how their special needs son was grabbed by a teacher, restrained, which is illegal in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And all I did was take that clip out of the meeting. It's a public meeting, so it's out there.
Right.
You can do whatever. So all I did was take a clip of the meeting and share it, and it caused this big, huge stir. Just the clip of the parents speaking, not even me talking or commentating on it. Just the clip of the parents speaking.
So have you been getting a lot of say feedback from that? Have you been getting
yeah, it's been going crazy. Yeah, we've been getting comments both on the page, and then I shared it out to several groups as well. The good thing is that's where most of the hate stayed within the group, so it hasn't come to my page directly, which is nice because then I can just turn notifications off and let the trolls just go crazy and keep the clips and the videos alive for that much longer. The more they comment, the more it reaches people.
I know you and I talked about this last week when you were on my show. So it's still going on now.
It has slowed down now. Like I said, in the groups, I don't know what's happening in the groups. I turned off the notifications and walked away. Like a mic drop. You drop the mic, you walk away. That's it. Doesn't matter. So I'm not sure. I guess it's from what I hear, from what I understand from other people who are in the groups, it's still popping off in the groups. The views for the clips are still climbing. We're up over 120 or 115, 120 followers in the last 5 weeks.
And this is local politics for you, right?
Yeah. It's about a school district. Yeah, a bad school district, but one that we've been covering for almost 3 years now.
Is this the school district that you were in when you were in school?
No. I was very lucky not to have to be in the school district, but my younger brother was in it for a little while.
Okay. So you're the oldest of your siblings, is that correct?
Yes, I'm the oldest of 3.
Okay.
We all start with a J.
Okay. All right. Speaking of that, J-Mac,
Yes,
have any siblings?
I have 2 older brothers that I have actually never met. That's a long story.
Holy shit.
They, as a matter of fact, just about 10 years ago, they were made aware that I was alive.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Kentucky, and whenever you go to small town Kentucky and your dad has you out of wedlock, and it's not when you're the bastard child, let's just put it that way. when you're the bastard child, you're not the one that spoke about at family dinners and stuff and everything. So yeah, it was kind of a situation like that, but that's all right. I had a mom that loved me, she took care of me, she did what she had to do.
And now you're doing the same to her.
That's right. I mean, yeah. We fuss and we fight like cats and dogs because me and her are so much alike, but at the end of the day, At the end of the day, my mom's the only person that's been there, every day through thick and thin, She
And
may
for
have wanted
those
to
who,
smack me upside the head a few times, but
and for those who are watching, all three of us, me, J Mac, and JD, we're in the same situation. Our moms are living basically under our roof. We're
Yep.
taking care of our mothers.
Yep.
It's just that simple.
Yeah, I'd say in my situation, I guess it's more of a mutual thing. She helps me with my care,
Mhm.
but I help her with things that she's not able to do and I can do.
Right. I'm sure we can all say the same thing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm sure you guys run into this as well. I have friends that say, "Oh, so you used to live with your mother?" Well, me being Italian is different. It's not so much I'm living with my mother; it's she's living with me. I'm taking care of my mother.
Yeah.
And for an Italian household, that is a tradition. It's an accepted thing. American, not so much. What I'm finding out.
well,
So
America's dumb because that's your
you're
mother.
exactly right.
That's
Yeah, I
your
agree with
mother.
Yeah, I
If you
couldn't agree
can't
more with
take
that.
care of the person that gave you life, whether
Yep.
you get along or not, if you cannot take the care of the person that made it possible, but with the grace of God and your dad too,
Yep.
but if you cannot take care of the person that made sure that you were fed, that you were, dry, that you had a roof over your head, that
Yep.
you had food in your belly, clothes on your back, if you can't do that, then and people want to judge you for it, then go judge. I don't care.
That's
You can
right.
judge
I
me all
agree.
day long.
Yeah.
Because America, if you suck, if that's America's attitude, then America, you suck. Take
That's
care
right.
of your mothers.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, if you and I've had girls who I went on dates with that have
Yes.
said something with me so you still live with your mother? Like, well, technically she lives with me, but if you want to look at it that way, yeah, you can kiss my ass.
That's it.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
we're not going
Yeah.
out again. You can kiss my
Yeah.
ass and goodbye.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm beyond that at this point. Unless, I mean, I think people should keep their parents living with them rather than put them in a nursing home or anything
Absolutely.
like that. Unless they don't want it, and then even then, you should probably try and insist and do your best to still make sure they still live with you. But don't. That's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you care so little about your parents that you would stick them in a nursing home and let a stranger take care of them.
I'd like to point out that when we took this that when we became the United States of America in 1776, do you think what do you think that when people reached aged 50 or 55 or whatever that they just went to a nursing
Right.
home, that they had nursing homes back then?
Exactly.
Households have always been multi-generational households. Usually the
Yep.
houses are passed down from generation to generation. Now in our culture, that's been lessened. It doesn't happen as often, but we forget that that's where we came from as a country, as in a place where households, and usually, honestly, I bet I don't know if there's, I don't know of a study myself, but I'd be willing to bet that if you found the study, whether households or children who live in multi-generational households, I bet do a whole lot better across the board than children that don't. So I think
absolutely.
that whole thing is ridiculous. I think it should be completely normal. That shouldn't even be a thing that exists where you're like, oh, you live with your what? Yeah, my parents live with me. I live with my parents. We live in the same house. Who cares who pays the bills? As long as if that's how you're defining what a bum is, you know what I mean? Like that's ridiculous. Like find out for yourself. That should not be the deciding factor.
Now, here's something for you guys, and I'll tell you because I'm a little bit older than both of you guys, a lot older than both of you guys. When I switched from saying I live with my mother to my mother lives with me, the attitudes on the other side of the conversation completely change.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't, but they do. They completely change. They say, no, my mother lives with me. I take care of my mother.
I think that because of what it implies. If you live with your mom, then she's paying the bills.
Yeah.
If your mother lives with you, then it's your house and you're the one paying the bills and you're taking care of your mom. It is a different thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Yesterday, my ex-wife, when we were doing the exchange for my daughter, because it's her weekend to have our daughter. She looked at me and she said, "So when are you going to give our daughter a stepmother?"
What?
And yes, and my exact response to
Wow.
her was, "That's not my focus. My focus is to get my daughter to 18 years old and to take care of my mother, who is almost 70 years old."
That's crazy.
You know, at the end of the day, if all I was sitting around focused on was having a woman in my life, then I wouldn't get anything accomplished.
I just left a
You
comment
know.
to someone on Facebook the other day. He was, I don't know him. He's like a friend of a friend of a friend, you know, a tertiary friend on Facebook.
Right.
But he was posted, apparently some girl just blocked him or whatever. And I left him a comment because he was like, "Oh, I'm so sad. Another girl blocked me." I'm like, dude, if you're looking for validation from someone else, then you're always going to be upset.
Yep.
If you're not happy with yourself, you're not going to be happy with someone else.
Exactly.
So you can't, don't do that to yourself. That's not even where you want to be.
Exactly. I mean, there are so many people. Well, I live in a small town. Keep that in mind. My town is 5,000 people at the most. And we lived here since, when I say we, the family lived here since 1971. That's when we first moved here. Everybody knows everybody in this town.
Yep.
Most everybody knows that my mother and I live together. Whether you want to say my mother lives with me or I live with her is irrelevant.
Yeah.
The thing is, they know that I take care of her. She takes care of me. It's a mutual thing.
Yeah.
And as J-Mac said earlier, I drive my mom around. My mom hates to drive, but she will when she needs to. But it's a joke. It's a running gag in town. I'm driving Miss Daisy everywhere. So my mom always says, "Well, you need to go out." I said, well, first of all, there's no place to go. First of all, it's 5,000 people. There's 2 bars in town. Okay. If I want to go out to a bar, I'll go out to a bar and have a drink. But what's the purpose? I'm not there to hook up at my age.
Yep. I'm
not there to meet friends because all my friends are married. They're not going to go out to bars. I might as well come online and go with my buddies JD and J-Mac. Come on.
Exactly.
And we're at the part now where and I know I didn't want to talk about professional wrestling, but I'm going to. I'm a professional wrestling fan. I'm a NASCAR fan. If there's a race on, or if there's a wrestling fan thing on, my mom watches it with me. She plays on her tablet, plays on Facebook or whatever, plays games. She doesn't pay attention, but she's there watching me with me and everything. We have a good time doing it. I say, "Mom, did you see that?" Like, what? Like, you didn't see the girls wrestle? There were girls wrestling? Like, Mom, look up from the television and watch this a little bit of it. So it's a fun thing. We have a good time. My whole point is, if you're not in a position with your mother, at least being an Italian, Italians are very close to their parents. If you're not in a position with your mother to joke around with her, you're doing something wrong in life, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Could be totally wrong with that. But I don't know.
Not only that, but what kind of a blessing is that in your life at your age and your mother's age that you all can do exactly now at this day and age what you used to do 40 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Sitting around the living room, you know, when you were the one playing with your toys in the living room floor and your mom was watching her TV program. You know what I'm saying? It's the roles have reversed, but that blessing is still there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Like, what a blessing that is to still have.
Yep. And J-Mac, you don't know this, but I have met JD's mom before. She came online once with us. Him and I were online, and she came online. She didn't know we were live.
We were live at that time. Yeah, she didn't know. She thought we were just having a conversation or talking, and she came right over. It was crazy because I was like, at first I was like, "What are you doing?" Like I thought to myself, "What are you doing? I'm live." And then, but I thought maybe she wanted to say hi to Andrew, and she was saying hi to Andrew, and then Andrew started asking her questions, and then I looked up at her and I said, "We're live." And you
She's like,
immediately got the deer in the headlights look and kind of sidestepped off screen.
I was gonna say if she's anything like my mom, she'd have been like, I don't care. I'm like,
No,
I'll
no,
tell
my mom
you
doesn't
what
want to
I
be
got
on.
to say too. And everything.
Yeah, no,
My
my
mom's
mom
like
doesn't
yours,
want to be.
JD. I keep asking mom, say, you should be my guest tonight. You don't have to be online. You don't have to be on camera. Oh no, I don't want to talk. I'm like, Mom, you talk all the time.
Yeah,
No, she doesn't want to talk. I said, okay, no problem.
she'll do it. Like she'll come on and talk to anybody for at least a few minutes, standing over my shoulder. But she does not. She doesn't like doing lives or doing like any recordings or anything like that. She doesn't like that.
Well, like I told you earlier, Andrew, my family, being with my grandpa, being a musician all his life, my family had no choice. Because if I honestly and truthfully believe that if my grandfather was alive today, of course he would be pushing 100 years old. But I fully believe that he would have had all of his grandkids and great grandkids in some kind of a Partridge Family, try to be like a band thing. Cause every one of my aunts and uncles, they were put up on stage to sing, and he quickly knew which ones didn't have the talent and which ones did. So my mother, yeah, you stick a camera in her face and a microphone in her face, she's going to go off for hours. So, yeah, my mom's the exact opposite.
My mom, absolutely not. My dad, absolutely.
Right.
Oh man, I can't
he
even
lived
imagine.
with a microphone.
Oh my goodness, if I would have had this show, if my dad would have been alive when I started podcasting, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. I think he would have been reluctant at first, but oh man, if I'd have been able to get him on and have him be who he is in person, but on a podcast, that would have been a show for the ages. Absolutely, 100%.
If I had my dad, just like you, JD, when I started this, if he was still alive, God rest his soul, Joe Rogan would be taking off the #1 spot.
Yeah, that's my dad, man. Oh my goodness, especially if I could have got him comfortable enough to start doing his own show or talking by himself. Oh man, I would not be the face of my company. I would have made him the face of the company, and I'd be the guy behind the camera. Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I was like, that's for me, that would have been my uncle. Because, of course, like we established earlier, my dad was never around, but my uncle, who was pretty much my dad, he was very much, he could command the room the second he walked into it just from his presence. Like, just an example before, didn't mean to interrupt Andrew. I was watching the news with him one time, and for whatever reason, he always watched, even though we were in central Kentucky and we could get the local news out of Lexington, he always watched the local news out of Louisville.
Okay.
But we were watching Fox 41 News one time, and they were talking about the weather, and I just remember them talking about the Kentuckiana region, which is the Kentucky-Indiana region.
Right.
So I asked him one time, I said, Uncle Jim, I was probably about my daughter's age, about 9 years old. I looked at him, I said, Uncle Jim, I said, why do they call that the Kentuckiana region?
Oh, no.
He said, I don't know, Jason, but the Indiana region would sound pretty stupid, wouldn't it? He was just that quick. Like, he reminded me of a hybrid of, he had the facial features of William Shatner, the smile and the laugh, but he had the quick wit and the humor of Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Oh wow.
He was just that quick with, jokes and stuff and everything. And like that came straight off the cusp. So to this day, I don't refer to the Kentuckiana region as the Kentuckiana region. It is the Indiana region for
In
me.
the Upper region. Oh geez. All right. I gotta tell you this story. For those who are still listening. So when my dad was alive, every time we get in the car, he would want me to drive. He didn't want to drive. He wanted to look around. He loved looking around the scenery. So we're driving around, and I see a Volkswagen bug go by, Volkswagen Beetle. So I really lightly I punched him in the leg, and I said, "Slug bug." He looked at me, didn't understand what it was. We go by a little more, driving a little more, and I see another one go by. I said, "Slug bug." And I punched him. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "When you see a Volkswagen bug, you have to slug somebody." He says, "Slug bug." Pretty soon another one goes by. I said, "Slug bug." I hit him. I mean, very, very gentle. One of those kind of things. And a few minutes later, boom! He hits me across the chest like like an atomic bomb. Like, dude, what was that all about? He said, "I saw a bug." I said, "Where?" He said, "Oh, yesterday." Like, it doesn't work that way.
5 hours
can't
later,
do
you wake
it
up
like
in your
that.
driveway.
I mean, he slugged me across the chest. Like, holy crap.
In
Like,
Pennsylvania,
Dad,
we call-
About?
I think you're
Pennsylvania,
taking
we call
this
them
too
punch
literal,
bugs.
Dad.
I saw it yesterday. I was like, that's not how it works.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
I tell you a story about my uncle. We were talking earlier about how the music part of my family and stuff and everything. My uncle was a big musician. He actually stole one of Elvis's cars one time, and it didn't go to jail for it either. But I I don't know how this man had the luck that he had with the way he was able to get by with things. The man met Ricky Nelson just because he walked up to somebody. But he so this from what I was told, him and his wife and his daughter decided to go down to Memphis one time, while Elvis was alive. They were standing outside the gates of Graceland, just looking up at the house. And it was at the same time that the racquetball court on the grounds of Graceland were being built. So there was a lot of construction going on and stuff. My uncle looked at my aunt and my cousin. They swear to this day that they were standing there, and he looked at them and he said, "You all wait here." And about 20 minutes later, my Uncle Jim was driving down Elvis's driveway in one of his cars and picked up my aunt and my cousin.
One of Elvis's cars.
Yes, one of Elvis Presley's cars. That Elvis. So apparently what had happened was he got up around that construction of the racquetball court and just kind of worked his way onto the grounds, just talking to people. He had the gift of gab. And as he worked his way onto the grounds, he slowly but surely kind of worked his way on up in behind Graceland, which is Elvis's house, for those of you that don't know. And if you haven't been to Graceland, you don't know what I'm talking about. I've been there, unfortunately, twice. And yes, I say unfortunately, because I wished I had never went. Not because it was bad, but because I feel guilty now for going. But in behind,
we got to talk about that. Go ahead.
Right. Well, that's fine. We can definitely do that. Well, in behind the house, of course, there's like the little area, a yard where, Lisa Marie's swing set and stuff was and everything. Well, the driveway goes in behind the house too. Well, as my uncle was sitting there, standing there talking to members of Elvis's bodyguards, which he called the Memphis Mafia, Elvis came out the back door and started tossing people car keys and telling people move my cars so that the construction dust doesn't get onto the cars. Well, Elvis threw my uncle a set of keys. And of course, my uncle had no clue which car to go get into. So he waited for everybody else to get into a car, and the car that nobody got into, that's the one he got into and started up.
Makes sense to me. Okay.
Right. They moved the cars. I don't know exactly how everything transpired from that point, but for whatever reason, he was able to go down to the front gates, pick my aunt and my cousin up, and bring them onto the grounds of Graceland. And Vernon, Elvis's dad, gave them a complete tour of the grounds. Even went so far as to let my cousin ride one of Elvis's horses. I don't know how this man, and that's just one of the many stories that this man has. And like, I believe my uncle is like really like a Greek god or something. Like it's just a mythological story. I met the man, but I don't know if he really existed, type thing. But yeah, he's had all kinds of experiences like that. I wish I had the man's dumb luck.
Wow,
But
that's great.
Well, you were talking about wanting to know about the why I regret going to Graceland.
Yeah.
I never thought about it until I was talking to the same uncle years later, and it was about a year after me and my first ex-wife had went to Graceland, and it was the second time we had went. And I asked him, I was like, hey, we just, got back from doing a tour of Graceland and going to Memphis and everything. How many times have you ever done the tour? And he said, never. And I was like, really? As big of a fan of Elvis as you are? You got me started in, loving Elvis. And he was like, it never dawned on me until he told me what he told me. People like Elvis and Michael Jackson, Graceland and Neverland were the only places that they ever got to just be Elvis and Michael. They weren't Michael Jackson, the international superstar. They weren't Elvis Presley, the international superstar. They could be Elvis. And the reason he never took the tour was because he didn't want to invade their privacy like that. Is because that was the only place they could ever be who they actually were. And I never thought about that until he said that. And now I know it sounds stupid, but I kind of live with a little bit of guilt that I invaded that privacy. Because you go to Graceland you go to Graceland to this day, and the aluminum foil is still on the windows upstairs because Elvis's hours were so reversed from ours. He would stay up all night and sleep during the day.
So okay, wait. So what was the aluminum foil about?
To keep the sunlight out.
Oh, okay.
While he was sleeping during the day. And it's funny because I never knew it, but when my mom was a third shift worker, she put aluminum foil on her windows. Never understood why until I found out that that's what Elvis did. Yeah.
I did not know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. I've always felt, not like, oh God, I'm a terrible person guilt, but like, wow, man, I never thought about that. That's really the only place they could ever just be themselves.
It's I'm not even going to bring this up because it's just too controversial. We'll bring it up another time. So anyway.
Controversy creates cash.
All right, Eric Bischoff. There you go. I know that song. I know that one. Don't worry. JD, you still with us?
I am here.
Okay.
I know it's hard when it's just an audio.
It's okay. It's fine.
That's all right. We're okay with being the pretty faces of the show.
That's right. Especially since it's my show.
There you go.
That's why I'm off camera.
I gotta tell you guys, this is probably the longest show I've ever had. I'm at 2 hours and 15 minutes right now. I've never had a show this long before.
Yeah, I don't think you've ever been this long before. Yeah.
No, and I don't think anybody else has left. Just me and JD is watching right now on Facebook. I don't think anybody else has left. So, gentlemen, this has been great. You guys have been great. I have some top 10 lists, but we're gonna hold this off until next week, I think, because I think this would be fun for more people to be on to do. Have top 10 different things around the United States, and this will be fun.
Okay.
All right.
Well, yeah,
So we'll
definitely. If you need me to come back, yeah, I was gonna say if you need me to come back next week to do the top 10, because I remember you saying something about a top 10 list and everything when we haven't been able to get to it. But yeah, if you need me to come back for next week, I'm more than willing to.
J Mac, I said we've had a great conversation tonight, and JD, you and I have had great conversations in the past. I've had somebody this morning. I go to breakfast every Saturday morning with my mother. She has several friends she goes with, and I have several friends there as well. I talk with, and I was talking with one of them today. Her name is Debbie. If she's still watching right now, which she's not, but she always says, "I'm laying in bed when I'm watching you guys." I'm like, "Well, then call me up, invite me over." What the hell, dude? She says, "I just love JD. He is so professional on the line." I'm like, "Oh man, if you think he's professional, what about me? I'm the professional guy." No, she just loves you, JD.
Sounds like she's got a good eye for talent.
That's right. She goes, "I just love JD when he comes on with you guys." And I was like, "Okay, with you." I said, "Okay."
Well, if he's professional, then I'm the guy that's just holding on by blowing in the wind here.
No, you both are also very professional. Andrew, you are definitely very professional, and J Mac, the only thing that I'd say that you're lacking is time. In another year, you're going to be able to do. You'll be completely comfortable. You can do whatever you want with your show. Like you'll be in another year. You're going to be a even better host than you are now. Not that you're bad now. You're great now, but you're going to get better in as time goes on. It takes time.
Yes, it does. And I'll be honest, I'm a rookie.
How long have you been doing this, JD? I mean, J Mac.
We had our show just May 18th was our 1 year anniversary.
So I know JD and we've been on together for over a year now, or right at a year.
Yeah.
We're at WrestleMania last year because we were on the same Facebook page. And I mentioned something about having a guest, and he says, "I'll be a guest on your show."
Yeah.
He came on. We started talking about wrestling right away. And it was right at WrestleMania of 2025.
Yeah.
When it was right after that. So
yeah. And I started podcasting. The Boiling Point podcast was established in 2020, August of 2020. So this August it will be the beginning of my 7th year.
Speaking of which, I know we're doing the Marvel Comic Universe stuff Monday. And I know this isn't a part of the Marvel Comic Universe because it's actually Sony Entertainment that's doing it. But if you all have not checked out the Spider Noir on Amazon Prime, definitely check it out. I'm not.
What is that? Yeah, you sent that message to me earlier. What is that?
A buddy sent that said that to me too. Also,
basically, what it is imagine Spider-Man only taken back to the 1930s. And
it's like a noir style cartoon.
Yes, it's a noir style.
What does that mean? A noir style? What does that mean?
Like the gangster, the detectives, the private eye stuff of the 1930s and stuff and everything.
What's
okay?
Let me see what the actual definition of noir is, because I don't want to lie to you or nothing
noir
like that.
Noir is black. It's black.
Yeah,
French.
It's black and white, grayish. I'm trying to look for some noir style movies that way you would know.
Noir is a genre of crime film or fiction characterized by cynicism, fatalism, and moral ambiguity. So basically, in this show on Netflix, it is Nicolas Cage playing Spider-Man. And
which is the part my buddy doesn't like.
it's honestly and truthfully, until I actually realized he has got it's funny too, because I've been watching it. I'm actually on the last episode. But he is going very what's his name? Cagney. James Cagney.
Okay.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
See?
man.
Yeah.
He
see?
is
Nicolas
he's
Cage is
doing
gonna be so over the top. No wonder my buddy doesn't like it.
no, it's not like exactly like that, but you can hear it in his voice.
Oh, dude, I know exactly. I know Nick Cage's voice. What you
Yes.
just said, I know exactly how he sounds. I don't even have to watch the series to know how he sounds.
But I'm going to be honest with you. This has been one of the best Marvel things. Marvel, whatever you want to call it, Sony Studios, because I know Sony owns Spider-Man and stuff, and they're leasing it to Marvel and everything. But as far as like a superhero thing, this has been an absolute great watch. You can watch it either in color or you can watch it in black and white. They give you either option. And I'm going to be honest with you, I watched a couple episodes in black and white, and it gives you that old school, feel and everything of watching an old TV show and stuff. It's a really good show. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say it's like the greatest, ever, but for what it is, if you go into it just watching it for what it is, it's really good. It really is. They got the Sandman.
A Nicolas Cage fan, even though he stars in one of my very favorite movies of Valley Girl.
Yep,
love Valley Girl. Other than that, and National Treasure.
Yes,
I don't like Nicolas Cage.
I'm the same way.
I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan either.
I'm the same exact way because I feel like he's just Nick Cage. Nick Cage is Nick Cage in every show.
Yeah, every movie. Yeah.
And it's really funny because the episode that I just got through watching, he's a private detective that is, of course, at night he's doing the Riley. I can't think of his first name, but Riley's detective agency. But he's also doing, he's the Spider. They don't call him Spider-Man. He's just Spider. It's really funny to watch him because this last episode, they had a guy come in that was dressed up as the Spider, and he's supposed to be acting like Nick Cage, and he's very demanding and doing all the motions and stuff, just like Nick Cage would do. It's almost like you can see them filming them making fun of Nick Cage's acting.
Yeah.
In this scene. And it like I was laughing my butt off because the guy was trying to hit his voice mannerisms and his movements and everything just right. It was absolutely hilarious. And I'm the same way. I'm not a huge Nick Cage fan.
Not at all.
I like who is it? Keanu Reeves.
60 seconds.
Oh, I love Keanu Reeves.
But see, I think Keanu Reeves and Nicolas Cage are the same kind of actor. They're the same.
Oh
character.
My God.
There's
dude.
and don't get me wrong, I like him. But there's no big spectrum with their characters. It's the same. Yeah, I love you. With Keanu Reeves, the same way.
I'll agree that some of Keanu's roles, I don't know if they require it to be him, but I mean, Bill and Ted and some of his even earlier stuff before Bill and Ted's compared to what he does now, even Speed's different than all of those things. Like he plays a different character. So I don't agree so much with Keanu Reeves, a little bit, but that's only because I think he's been typecast. They want a specific thing out of him. Like, I mean, honestly, I can't tell a difference. Now. Like, I can't tell a difference between Neo from The Matrix and Constantine. There is still, as far as I can see, there is no difference between those two characters. But he can do other things besides that.
All I hear is
okay. I got to bring this back. Okay. I've seen Neo 1, whatever the hell it was called. What was the
Matrix?
First one called? I didn't get it. I didn't watch Matrix 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever. I didn't get
If
it.
you
I
didn't
did
watch
not
2
get
or
it.
3, then the number 1 is hard to follow if you don't watch 2 and 3.
I did not get it. I I
2
don't
and
get it
3.
at all.
The last Matrix
is
movie
one of
was
those.
crap.
The
But-
Matrix is one of those movies that gets more value because of like the whole thing. The first movie by itself doesn't really make a lot of sense. You need 2 and 3 for the context.
I want to watch 2 and 3. But
the new ones are crap.
John Wick,
Hmm.
awesome. Loved John Wick.
I haven't seen any of the John Wicks.
Did you know?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen any of the John Wicks.
Dude, watch John Wick 1 and then move on from there. 2 was okay. 3, great. 4 was fantastic. John Wick 1 was off the charts.
Did you know that the writer of the Matrix, not the directors, the actual writer of the book of the Matrix is the same author as the Terminator, and she 100% confirmed that they are in the same universe and the same story.
What? What?
Yes.
What? Say it again. What?
The writer of the Terminator and the writer of the Matrix is the same lady, and she confirmed that the Matrix is the future of what happened in the Terminator. I hear the keyboard going off over there on
It's gotta be JD, 'cause I'm not
that's
typing
JD.
anything, so
He's
I don't know.
looking it up.
Yeah, JD's got to be doing that. He's the researcher for the group.
Yep.
I don't know about that.
No. She 100% confirmed it.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
John Wick.
what Terminator are you talking about?
Just the lady who wrote the Terminator.
Well, okay.
Because John Wick, the series.
If you're
is great.
talking about a person named Sophia Stewart who claims that her 1981 manuscript, The Third Eye, inspired both franchises, it's definitely a disputed legal claim and not necessarily regarded in high regards. James Cameron is recognized as the writer of The Terminator, and The Matrix was written and directed by the Wachowski siblings.
The books that they were based on is from the same material.
That's what Sophia Stewart is
Yes.
claiming. Yes,
Yes.
you're right. That is exactly what Sophia Stewart is claiming. Yes. But she's claiming that they were inspired from her they were both inspired from her works. Making the claim that they exist in the same universe is quite a leap, especially since it's a highly disputed issue.
Well, she's on video saying it.
I
Yeah.
believe you, and I believe that she's
Right.
on video saying this. I have no doubt about that.
But I can see how they could both be related.
I can't.
Well, you think
Sorry.
about the
It's
machines
humanity
take
versus
over.
machines. It's not that
and
hard to
then-
go from one to the other, but
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, not my bag. I'm sorry.
Seems lukewarm. Seems lukewarm.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, this has been great. It was 11:20 my time. Holy crap! I guess it's all our time's 11:20, isn't it? Yeah.
Are you on Eastern?
Yep. I'm on
Yep.
Eastern.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just getting started, bro.
You're just getting started. Look at you. You're a night owl. You stay up all night.
My hours of operation are usually from noon to anywhere between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m.
I've finished off a whole bottle of red wine, so
So J-Mac's definitely done at the end of his night.
I'm
Well, let's
nowhere
see here.
near done.
I
I'm
got-
getting ready
I
to
got half
record
of
some
this
more
and-
music.
And mine is a little bit stronger than yours, I bet you.
I'm guaranteeing yours. Mine is 12% alcohol by volume. But I do recommend anybody that likes a good, sweet red wine, definitely do Purple Toad. I know this is not a
Purple
plug or
Toad.
anything. It's called Purple Toad, and it's a local distillery here in Paducah, Kentucky. But it's called Purple Toad Winery, and this brand that I love is called Black and Bruised. And the toad, I don't know if you can see it; it's too bright. but the toad,
Turd.
the
turd.
told you I've had too much to drink. No, but the toad on the label actually has Band-Aids all over it where it's been black and bruised. But yeah,
And I don't drink.
Well, this right here, I got half of it gone tonight. This is a home brew, and a friend of mine, quote unquote, a friend of mine makes his own stuff.
Yes,
and bottles it himself. So this is every bit of 85, if not 90 proof, 85 proof, let's say. And yeah, it's been a nice refreshing drink tonight.
If I had drinking that much whiskey, I wouldn't be on here with you guys. I'd probably be naked in the streets.
I was gonna say, with us,
but you're naked anyway, though.
Right?
No, I don't have a shirt
at least
on.
halfway.
Yeah, half naked, but I'm always half naked.
Brown chicken, brown cow. But now, I was gonna say, Andrew, with us living so close and everything, we should try to sometime meet up. I say we're close. I don't know exactly how far away you are in Indiana.
Let me ask you this:
from us.
how far are you from Indianapolis?
I want to say from Indianapolis, I am right around 4 hours. Let me find out.
4 hours? Are you serious?
How
far are you from Lexington? From Louisville?
From Louisville, I'm about an hour to about an hour 20 minutes.
Okay, because Louisville is about an hour and a half from Indianapolis. Depends on what side of Louisville, what side of Indianapolis you go to.
Lancaster to Indianapolis.
Pittsburgh drive 4.5 hours. That's like me driving from where I am, going out all the way out to Pittsburgh.
Okay, I take it. I'm 3.
JD, you're good. You're good 7 hours from me, JD. I know that much.
I am 3 hours and 7 minutes.
It's only 7.
Oh, probably 7. At least 7, if not. I'm sure 7, 6 or 7 at the most.
It says I'm 3 hours and 7 minutes from Indianapolis.
See, I
can make it to North Carolina in 6 hours.
I am on the other side of Indianapolis from you. It takes me about an hour to get to Indianapolis. So probably from your side, an hour and a half to Indianapolis.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and JD, you're from Philadelphia. I'm thinking that's 7 hours from me, Philadelphia. But I don't know for certain.
I'm an hour and 33 minutes from Louisville, and that's going a certain way. Of course, there's other ways to go and everything.
Right.
But yeah, we should. I was gonna say, man, we should all try to figure out a big, meet up and
getaway or something. Yeah,
we can get away, and then a big massive podcast. Just film us all on the same screen and everything.
We'd have to bring all kinds of equipment there. Obviously, it's easier to do it this way, but if we can get together, it'd be great.
Yes, I would love to get together, regardless of a podcast. I would love to get together and just sit down and have a meal and stuff and just talk.
Well, yeah, break bread with each other. Absolutely.
Yeah, it says I'm 8 hours. It says I'm 8 hours from Louisville, 562 miles.
You better get that thumb out, buddy.
Really? JD, how far are you from Indiana, Pennsylvania?
From Indiana, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. When I lived in Cleveland, I used to go to Indiana, Pennsylvania for an account rep and to bang a girl. Yeah, that's a different story.
Right. That's for the after dark portion of the podcast.
Absolutely. That's for the R-rated version. Yes.
I am 2.5 hours from Indiana, Pennsylvania, 166 miles.
That's how far I was when I lived in Cleveland over there too. Okay.
Except they want you to take the turnpike.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna let you guys go so I can close out the show. But man, this has been great.
Yes,
appreciate it. Thank you guys coming on. We'll have to do this again sometime, and we'll go through the top 10 list that I have next time. We'll have a fun time with that.
Yeah, like I said, if you want me back next week for it, I'm more than willing to come back. Just let me know.
Well, I'll have both of you guys back sometime.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
Yeah, same.
Sounds good.
Let me know whenever.
All right, guys. You guys take care. Have a good night, and I appreciate you guys. Love you guys, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, sir. Too sweet.
All righty. Okay, folks, This has been great. This has been one of the best shows that I have ever had. And I got to thank my buddies JD and JMac for this. And we've had a great time with this. I hope you stuck with us the whole time. I know a few of you were. And I can't thank you enough. We've had everything. We've gone over all kinds of different conversations. This is what the guys do. This is what buddies do when we sit around, just chit chat, and we have a good time with each other. So, popcorn and whiskey. My name is Andrew. I am the face who runs the place. I'm going to stop it now. Like I said, it's been 2.5 hours, and the longest podcast, the longest live stream I've ever done. Appreciate it. And I've had a couple of great guys on here. And so we'll stop it here. All right. Thanks for being here. Until next time, my name is Andrew, the face who runs the place, popcorn and whiskey. Until next time, ciao.